Hi, guys. This is Jean Holden, producer of the show. And I just wanted to take a minute to let you know where you can find us on the internet. Please go to ThatMan on Fatman.com. There you can find out all the things you need to know about the show. You'll be able to find links to the podcast, to YouTube, to Twitter, Facebook, even Instagram and Snapchat. Thank you so much for listening, guys, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Today's show is brought to you by Death Wish Coffee. Death Wish Coffee, the strongest coffee in the world.
This is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman, and I want to urge you to make a generous donation to the Wayne Foundation so we can stop the sexual trafficking of children. Do it, or I'll find you.
And don't forget to check out our good friend of the show, Mark Live, over at chundertunes.com for all your podcast animation needs. ThatMan on Fatman is recorded with a Zoom H6 handy recorder. Zoom. For creators.
Disclaimer. The show you're about to experience is for entertainment purposes only. The hosts use mature language and conversation just like in most of life. If you're too uptight, this might not be for you. All that said, we really do hope you enjoy the show. But if you don't enjoy it, expect a nice big shipment of my joyous Joker juice on your doorstep in the very near future. Toodles!
Yes, please note that use of all sound effects is done ironically.
Ooh-ah. You are listening to ThatMan on Fatman with Scott and Jean Holden, and they, trust me, have a great ass.
The second Y is sent in by
ThatMan on Fatman.
Oh, right on. Scott Holden.
Scott Holden, yep.
And what does Scott want?
Call me Scott because I'm Holden.
As the world's biggest Kevin Smith fan, I appreciate the fact that somebody finally made a podcast about that interesting motherfucker. So, yes, you absolutely did the right thing.
Okay, what has two thumbs and is a huge fan of Kevin Smith? ThatMan!
Scott, who does ThatMan on Fatman podcast.
Yeah.
Ooh-ah.
Well, once upon a time, just a regular man read a book written by the Fat Man. Tough shit written by old Kev Smith.
Ooh-ah. ThatMan on Fatman.
Kev said go out and start a podcast, and so I did, and I had a real blast. But my obsession was driving my co-host nuts.
He's that man. He's talking.
Didn't want to bring the podcast down. Needed Porkchop Murphy to hang around.
Go get him, that man.
So I created a show with one heck of a plan, and I call that show ThatMan on Fatman.
ThatMan on Fatman.
Go get him, that man.
We're gonna talk about Kevin Smith.
ThatMan on Fatman. ThatMan on Fatman.
Go get him, that man.
We're gonna talk about Kevin Smith.
Go get him, that man.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to this. Now, I know I've been off on the episode count of late. It's like of one. I've been one down. And I'm pretty sure, hang on, and here with me in the studio is none other than Jean Holden.
Sorry, I talked too soon.
Yeah, it's all right.
Hi, guys.
But yeah, what's more important is this is episode 199.
It is.
Yes. Which is interesting because they just dropped SModcast 399, wherein Scott Mosier returns.
Yay!
And
Scotty
yeah,
Mo's back from Paris.
Good idea. Hang on. Where's fanfare for this? Yay! Hang on. Where's the sound? Jeez, I went through a lot of stuff to get. Oh, I know why. I think I muted this. Well, forget that. How about this?
We can just clap. Yay!
Oh, dummy. I know why.
Welcome back
There you go.
to America.
Hello.
Is he excited to be back in America? He's very excited to see the people that he loves.
Yeah, I wonder about how he feels about the whole Trump thing. But here's what I will say: they were in very giggly and giddy form.
Yeah, but
I enjoyed their SModcast very much.
I did too.
So.
The thing that saves us are the people we love, so that's what we focus on.
Yes. So 300, and I believe 400 is coming too, which they may have already recorded, but it's the two of them, so it feels like old times again.
You said 400?
They were $3.99.
Wow.
So then they're going to be dropping 400.
Yeah.
We're dropping $1.99.
Yep.
Our next show will be 200.
Wow, 200. It will be an extra specialicious show.
Yeah, yes.
Is that a word?
Indubitably.
Yes.
Actually, what it'll be will be a numerical show and in order.
This week's show is good.
Yes. Yeah, speaking of which.
Our friends.
Yeah, we have, it's actually kind of cool that we're kind of reminiscing and bringing back some old flavors, and in which we have Joseph and Shaddai on. You guys will remember.
From Texas.
Yeah, and they were here for some key moments during the show, like when we interviewed Ernie O'Donnell, which that show is now featured on
Pod U.
Pod U, yes, thank you.
Is it still there?
Yeah, that's still up there. That feed's still around.
Are they still doing that?
Yeah, they don't drop as frequently as they should. There might be somewhere like 7 of them or something, I think, now.
Right. See,
but
and that's the problem
we're
with
number
podcasting.
one. No.
I know. The thing with and I don't want to say problem. I shouldn't have used that word. It's very easy to for people to lose track of things and a show if it's not done on a weekly basis. If there's not
or some sort of regular drop, because we're like right now we're not exactly weekly, we're more like bi.
I know. We are bi, but the thing is the regularity is what people depend on.
It feels like more of a summer thing. It's like we're kind of relaxing and slowing it down a little bit, not because most people do that around now, so it's harder to guess. And
speaking of that, Louis Black was on one of the late night shows recently, and he got pissed. He was like all mad at Trump. Can't we just have our summer? Can we just have our summer, you motherfucker? You're like fucking up everything. Can we just have our summer? Leave us alone. Stop, shut up, and we can't even enjoy life. The thing is, people, you need to enjoy life.
Oh, God. I can't remember the term.
Don't get so focused on him and what he's doing. And
for those out there, there's something I was learning about. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's a psychological, or, it's an effect. Essentially, to sum it up, the best way to sum it up is where somebody's so stupid, like they think they're a genius, or they're so stupid they don't realize they're stupid, and they believe themselves therefore smart. Oh yeah, that's like Trump and all his followers.
Yeah, which are only 30%.
I'm so stupid, I'm a genius.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's not go too crazy off the whole thing, the whole Trumpian thing.
But try to just, keep your sanity somehow. People.
Yeah, we should also talk about, I want to harken back to Spinal Tap, because Spinal Tap always had a drummer issue. So they had like a drummer spontaneously combust. They've had drummers, basically many drummers.
Right.
That was the running gag.
And they died, basically?
Well, at least like a few of them did. One died in a bizarre gardening accident. He choked, and then there was another one who choked on vomit.
But it was always the drummer?
It wasn't. They don't know whose vomit it was.
Ew.
They can't dust for vomit. Anyway, these are some of the lines from the movie.
I hope it's his own.
But anyway, so in much the same way, it appears that the news person on our show is the Spinal Tap drummer. It's the slot that just has become rotational. Because, just sudden and weird, strangely, we lost another news person. And all we can do is go, wow, that was weird. And it's odd because I kind of felt it coming. And the last exchange that I had just before she quit was kind of like, hey, you don't have to worry. It's all good. And, this is not a job that like we fire people over. Because I got the vibe that because, that she felt bad for not showing up, or I don't know what was going on, but I just got that little spidey sense. So I reached out, and then next thing you know, the immediately after
but what
that
happened you didn't foresee.
No, not at all. It was just like, boom. Well, okay, well, that's over. So there. Not much else we could say, but best of luck.
Yeah.
And that was wow. So we'll be doing the news again until such time as we find a new replacement. But anyway, just wanted to let you know that. And then, so anyway, I have a little bit of Kev news. Mm-hmm. We talk about it during our interview, but just to throw it out there, there's a Netflix show called Explained where they do little news bits, 15 to 20 minutes or something, usually about a half hour, somewhere in there. And the most recent one that they put out is called Weed. And guess who's the voiceover throughout?
Who?
Mr. Kevin Smith.
Yay!
So that's kind of cool.
quite
So
entertaining.
if you have, Netflix, check that out.
I'm surprised he hasn't talked about it.
Well, now he's so diverse. He diversifies so much. It's like hard to keep up.
Right.
But yeah, that's one of the things. And let's see, what was there? What else was there?
Tomorrow is a Vulgar-a-thon.
Tomorrow's Vulgar-a-thon. That's right. And
Yeah.
if you're listening to this, it could be Vulgar-a-thon by the time this drops.
Right. It's gone, come and gone.
I don't know
And
about
then-
that. This will drop.
I mean,
This will drop soon.
it's coming soon, so it's pretty much tomorrow.
Yes.
And
You may be listening to this on the Vulgar-a-thon day.
Kev's in Jersey.
So yes, Vulgar-a-thon is tomorrow, and
Yes.
tomorrow is Kevin's birthday. 'Cause
Yes.
his birthday is August 2nd.
August 2nd.
Yes.
And then Friday is the birthday at Babylon in Cali.
Yes.
Hollywood Babylon. In Hollywood.
And we should do a shout out to Big Daddy Jimmy V for all the cool appearances he's had on
Yes.
Edumacation as the card guy.
Yeah.
Lucky him.
I know. I love that.
Yeah, and the cat ears too.
Mm-hmm. Cat ears, too.
I wonder if we'll see no, probably not cat ears, but we'll probably see Big Daddy Jimmy V somewhat soon.
Right. I think Cat Ears is here in New Jersey going to that thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
So go and check out the Hollyweed site so we can get it. Remember, there's a
Yes.
Let
Oh
me
yeah,
get-
Hollyweed.
Let me find out for you guys. Sorry, I want to get.
Actually,
the
if you Google Hollyweed at this point, I think you'll get to the main site.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's getting close to the end. It's got to be because it's 45 days, and
Right.
Kevin's
So
been
what
hitting on it really hard.
So what you do is you go to the website and you pretty much donate a certain, like you kind of bid a certain amount. Is that what you do?
Well, you pledge up to 6 episodes. We
It's
did the
Rivet
max.
TV.
It's like 30 and change.
Yeah, it's Rivet TV. So basically, it's how many people pledge that the amount
The more you pledge, the
more-
less.
the less
The better chance that you're going to pay less when it actually
Right.
gets the green light.
That was I was trying to say that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
I've been
the
thinking
more
about it
people-
and saying it a lot.
The more people that do it, the less money it.
Yeah, exactly.
should
The
be.
more people that pitch in, the
Okay.
less everybody will pay.
Cool.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you commit to paying the max, then what's the worst that can happen at that
Right.
point?
So check out Rivet TV, and then you can watch the pilot, which is really good.
And it's funny, and if you love
So
Kevin,
cute.
give it a
Really
shot. And I love the fact that he's like talking about it, like, "Hey, I had a heart attack. When I came back, I was like, you know what? I love this pilot we did. I'd
Yeah.
love to see it get out there. If this is the way we do it, let's do it this way."
Yep.
You know,
And it's just his way, like just being able to put it out there for everyone.
Yeah.
So.
And hey, it's got it's got Ashy Larry from fucking
He's
Chappelle
so
Show in there. So
funny.
it's Ashy Larry and Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sorry,
They're
I
a
don't know.
great
I don't
pair.
know Ashy Larry's
I know.
actual
I totally-
name as a character, and I feel terrible. His actual name as an
Well,
actor.
don't feel terrible because we'll get it.
Hang on, yeah, we're gonna spin it up. I think we may have even said this during because
Right.
see, this is why we need Joseph. God,
I know. Donnell Rawlings.
that's him. Darnell, yes. Thank you. There you go.
He's so funny, and I'm pretty sure.
Trust me, we'll get better on the news again, folks.
Does,
It's just we're not used to doing it again.
Does Kevin talk with Mark Bernardin about it, or what show was that when he talks
Hey,
about?
ow. God, this is like novice hour.
Like
All
how
right,
he,
we
like-
should cut to the guest soon.
Okay. But I thought that Kevin was talking to, I forget what show he was on, either Fatman on Batman or Edumacation, talking about Donnell Rawlings, about he's so funny that they kind of like do
Yeah,
his
yeah.
bits on the show or something?
Well,
like
I
that? They
think
practice his jokes.
I think it was Hollywood Babylon,
Right.
and he went
Oh, yeah,
over,
yeah,
and what he
Hollywood.
did was he talked to him. He
Yeah.
said, "Give me a funny story," so he could get story credit
Yeah.
in Hollywood. So then he gets more money because then he gets story credit as opposed to just being an actor.
That is so awesome.
Yeah,
Kevin
and then
is
Kevin
so-
will write it, even though he's writing it. But story credit is, story's cool, like
Kevin
story
is so
credits are great.
amazing because he always is looking out for everyone.
Yeah, and there,
Well, I hope he looks out for himself too, and not like he should be making money too.
there are many writers who consider themselves storytellers first.
Oh yeah.
So,
Well, that's a good. Well, a reader first, I would think.
storyteller, whatever.
Okay.
We could tell stories. We do.
Oh, absolutely. Would you tell stories?
Yes. Would you like to hear a story about I don't know.
The birds and the bees?
Yeah, no, not tonight. Ah!
Not tonight.
You're going to hear some, though.
Do you have a headache?
Not tonight. I have a headache. I'm like Jerry, remember?
Oh, my God.
You guys are gross and lame.
You're gross and lame.
Anyway.
Are you hungry for
apples? I meant to tell those guys that during this interview. That, that's the thing I want to remember to say instead of, oh, God, during sex from now on. Hungry for apples.
Oh,
Beth.
Jerry. And Beth is like, not even Beth.
Yeah, she's Robot Beth or whatever. She's Computer Beth
Yeah.
set to 2.
Right.
It's a very interesting episode.
Right. And now we're going off on a tangent
Yes.
about Nick
Nick
and Morty.
Of late, there are
Remember
certain
that
episodes
show,
that
Nick
keep
and
calling
Morty?
back to me. That's
No.
one, and the other one is the one with Tiny Rick. I don't know.
My God. Tiny Rick. It's because someone had a tattoo. The
Coach
other day we saw.
Ferratu. No, but there's other things, like those songs are so funny to me.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
out.
Let me
Let me
out.
out. I'm trying to get out. I can't
I'm
get
in
out.
the garage in the freezer.
I'm trapped in a vat in the garage.
Oh, yeah, I'm trapped in a vat in the garage.
Yeah, those are all. But anyway, we should save this
Yeah,
for
but
a
my
post show.
But my whole thing is he knew that he was in there. I don't
Enjoy
understand.
more wacky, zany talk. Believe it or not, for Kev fans out there, we do talk about Kevin.
We're
as
very
we-
wacky
yeah.
and zany.
And these guys do have a connection to us in the show. And again, they were there when we interviewed Ernie that first time. And
Yeah.
if you
They
go
were
back
actually
to
present. for
yeah,
me
if you
in
go back to
person.
the first season, and listen to some of those episodes, the episodes with them,
Oh my God, we've known
because we
him.
recorded with them, and then we went to go record with Ernie. And maybe we should put that out as a best of.
That's a great
Do a
one.
best of combo or something.
So is Ernie the first season too?
Actually, we shouldn't because it's on. It's getting overexposed.
Is Ernie the first season?
Ernie is, I think, pretty sure first season.
Wow,
Yeah,
we've been known Ernie a long time.
Yeah,
Like
it's
6
so
years.
weird too. Yeah.
Wow, Ernie.
Well, the show's coming on 5 years.
Right. So 5 years you've known Ernie.
Yeah. Well, it'll be 5 years in February or whatever.
Okay.
Like basically our daughter's birthday.
Right. February 17th.
Yes, that's the night this show was officially born.
Yeah.
But anyway, so with all that babble, now please enjoy our time with our friends Joseph and Shaddai, Nerd Sloth. Google, God, I can't fucking talk. Google Nerd Sloth, and you will find our pals Joseph and Shaddai and their array of podcasts, including, I'm pretty sure in the archives, would be Pillow Talk, which
Yes.
we're all over at one point. So,
Really?
we're in a few episodes, like 4 or 5.
Oh wow.
Maybe. A few. Definitely a few. At least 3, as many as 4, possibly 5.
Wow.
Anyway, here they are, Joseph and Shaddai. We love them. They're a lot of fun.
Yes, we do. We love you.
We always enjoy talking to them. Here they
They're our
come.
boo-boos.
Oh, I can do this right now. Oh, no, wrong button. Sorry. I'm just being silly. Problem is, I need glasses.
And now, here's our guest.
How are you guys?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
You missed about 5 minutes on me doing ode to eye crusties.
Ew, it's gross.
I decided that, like, in much the vein of, if you've ever heard Seaside Rendezvous by Queen, like in much the same kind of style, we should write a song called, the Crusty Song, and it be an ode to eye crusties.
Ew, it's disgusting. Stop.
I also
Talk about
made
it
an
anymore.
observation that, no one eats their eye boogies the way people eat their
Nose boogies.
nose boogies.
And I said, yes, they probably did.
And I just was grossed out by that. So, and at that point, you connected. So,
You made an observation.
Yeah,
very.
it was a very.
and I was very glad that I've actually recorded all that too.
It was a very. It was a very human moment. Yeah, it was.
I feel like the eye boogers are just too crunchy.
Yeah, exactly.
They
They're
have like a.
you can feel the sand that is literally probably in them.
I'm so grossed out now.
Well, have you ever done like a face mask, like one of those charcoal or mud masks, and if it gets into your eyes, like you can kind of feel it going through your nose, like all your sinuses, right? Like if I put it, I guess too much of it, it's actually coming out of my mouth, and it's just because it's going through my eye socket.
So you are eating it, is what you're saying.
Yes,
just kind of reverse eating it.
Yeah. So maybe you're eating your eye boogers after all.
I feel the need to have to do this though very thoroughly. I was thinking about this. The last time we had you on, I don't feel I did a good service because it has been a while since you've been on, and like I think we have a lot of new listeners who don't, who I feel we need to clue in as to who you are in relation to us and the show.
Like we didn't really do that.
Yeah, and so we're going to take the listeners back a little while.
If you don't know, then you don't know.
Yeah, well, we should, what is it? The Stan Lee, every comic book could be someone's first?
Yeah, exactly.
Like we really should look at each show like that.
Yeah, so we met you guys, let's see, way back, like we want to say 4 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's about right.
I think 2014.
Yeah, it was very early on in the show. Yeah. And you are fellow podcasters, and you guys had a sex show, which you had the name. Well, the name was Pillow Talk, which I was just fascinated with because it was such a good name and a perfect name for a sex show. And you guys were cool and in Texas, and we got to talking a lot. And I feel like we're all in the friend zone. To put it in the modern parlance. And that as far as the show goes, we feel really tight with you guys, and we've had a great, fun relationship. And you guys, because of your sex show, it's just been easy for us to be open to you guys about our crazy lifestyle as well, which we have a whole other show on as well now. But, for those who don't pay attention, Gene and I are pretty much openly poly and openly pansexual and, crazy like that. So we talk about that on Tales.
Some call it crazy, some call it normal.
Yeah. Well, I just throw it out there.
Living your best life. Just say that.
Yeah. Well, again, I also go back to the problem. Most people kind of resents people the poly, the swingy thing, because again, it goes back to some people's wildest fantasy is our Tuesday night. You know what I mean?
Right. You don't have to wait for the weekend. You can do it on a weekday.
And it's just
they resent the idea of it, or they resent that we're doing it, or they resent.
I think a little bit of all of it.
In general.
I think the beauty is that because we had our sex show and you guys now have yours, it's sort of that you're breaking the taboo. Is that this is a lifestyle that either people do not want to openly talk about because they're nervous of family or whomever is listening to that they're going to have this sort of idea and stereotype, the lifestyle from the 70s or 80s or whatever media it is that would tell them without actually doing the research. And it's great having people who aren't scared to really talk about it and that can actually open that door. I think most people are so curious, they just don't know where to start without accidentally Googling something, and then they fall into a history that they don't know how to erase on their
Googling something. That's what we'll say.
Yeah. So, but you guys have continued to podcast. You don't necessarily do that show as much, and you've rebranded, but you do have some, I would say, popular podcasts out there. Particularly your big one is your comic, your cartoon one. Please say the name.
Yes.
Please plug heavy.
Okay, the cartoon one that you speak of is Saturday Morning Cartoon Boom, and it's literally my friend Chris and I, my co-host, talking about cartoons from, really any time. It's called Saturday Morning Cartoons, but that doesn't necessarily have to fall into that. It's just whatever cartoons we happen to be going over. At this point, we're so backlogged on listener suggestions that we're really kind of just going through. We have something set up on Ranker to where it's a list that people kind of vote on, and we go the top of the list, and then once a month we'll go bottom of the list so that people are included even though they might have come in late or even though it's a less popular show. So,
smart.
yeah, we have fun with that. Originally, it was just us kind of like picking cartoons, but really quickly people jumped on board and were like, hey, listen, check this one out. I'd like to see what you think of this one. What do you think of this one? And so on and so forth. And it's just been a lot of fun, like rewatching some of these cartoons and then getting kind of an adult eye on some that we might have loved as kids.
Yeah, that's always interesting. Like just like that, does it hold up kind of concept?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, completely.
And a lot of times, no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, especially if you like some of the Japanese stuff, because it doesn't necessarily port. Like, I was a big fan of Battle of the Planets, which was a show called Gatchaman in Japanese, and the Gatchaman stuff apparently is a lot more adult, and we got a much watered down version, and inserts and all kinds of stuff like that. And it was a very different show. But hey, when I was 7. That was the greatest show I'd ever seen in all of TV, next to Batman. So it was Batman and that.
Oh my God,
so.
Batman.
I think it's interesting what the government. I don't know how the rating system worked here as far as cartoons go, especially bringing in a foreign cartoon. Because I agree with you, there was a lot of shows that were completely watered down. One that I grew up with was Sailor Moon, and I had no idea that a lot of these girls were actually lesbians or whatever. They really took all these things out of the story plot for one reason or another.
And there was a lot of death instead of like being transported to another dimension or passed out or whatever.
In Gatchaman, the villain is a hermaphroditic creature. So, they play with the whole, transsexuality, if you will.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But what they did in America was they made it his sister, the main villain's sister, instead.
Is that what they did? I don't even remember how they edited it was. Yeah, I remember being confused at 7. You know what I mean? Like being like, what just happened? Wait, huh? He's a she? Huh? Who? What?
Yeah, why is his sister here all of a sudden? Yeah, it's just like, as a kid, you don't question those things as much, and that's kind of what they were passing off. They're like, well, the kids won't care. Like, it's just the visuals you're focused on, and that's really what it was. Looking back at those things, it's like, I loved Battle of the Planets back when I was a kid, but rewatching it and watching back-to-back with Gatchaman, I'm like, man, there's so much that they left out, and a lot of context that was just absolutely changed for the worse.
Yes, that's very true. I mean, they tried to make it more safe for little kids. And it was Sandy Frank, and they're notorious for buying, the rights to, I think they had the Gamera movies and a lot of the Godzilla movies as well. When you'd see edits here in the U.S., usually Sandy Frank was associated with them.
Yeah, like in the first Godzilla, they threw Raymond Burr in there because he was a popular American actor at the time. But in the Japanese version, obviously he's not present at all.
Yeah.
So it's just a throw-in for the American audience to relate more to, I guess.
Hey, speaking of Godzilla and all that, have you been paying any attention to Edumacation at all?
No, I haven't listened to that in a while, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay, well, of late, they're trying to do a live thing, and they've been doing, basically pub quizzes. They've been doing pub quizzes at the Scum and Villainy. And
that's clever.
Yeah.
And you can watch it on YouTube.
And you can watch them on YouTube now. And also the way it was part of Andy's idea, and they're always trying to think of things. So he's like, how can we do something where our fans can come and they don't have to pay unless they want to?
Right.
And that's participate
It's very
in
clever.
the pub quiz.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Now,
You
is
put
it just general subjects, like general nerdy subjects, or
I
is
mean,
it all
is it
Star
how
Wars
Yes.
close
related?
is it
The-
to
no,
like, the geeks who drink?
So far, they've done 2, and you can watch both of them,
Yeah.
and they've definitely evolved. The first one was a bit of what was happening the first time was there were a lot of ties, and it came down to a 20-sider die roll.
Hell yeah.
And that happened way too much, so
Yeah.
then they fixed that for the second one, and like Andy literally
Guys.
fucking printed
Guys, see
out
this shit.
a
I need to,
blinking light
He
system.
made this fucking
Yeah, in the 3D printer, like they look like kind of like
press-
eggs, but they're
Yeah.
like blinking, so each one has a different color.
Well,
and
it's like everyone has like this thing that they press. It's
yeah,
like
so
their
the idea
buzzer.
was that you were buzzing
The
in.
guy made it out of a fucking
Oh, my
3D
God.
printer.
Yeah, the problem
This
was
is so
it
cool.
didn't really work all that well.
I
What he
know.
needed it to
That
do,
shit was
it
so
kind
cool.
of broke
Not so
down.
much.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
I was so
A for
mixed.
effort, but
Yeah.
more of a C for
No.
delivery. Yeah, it
So
did-
were
it
they
needs some
doing
tuning.
like a Godzilla?
Yes, that's
trivia one
Yeah,
one
that was
night. Or?
right.
Thank you for bringing me back
Thank
to
you for
why I
bringing it
brought
up.
this up. They had a Godzilla,
I know.
yes, a Godzilla category
Yeah.
during one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they
Oh my
have
God.
5 basic they have 5 rounds,
Right.
and you have to pay for a round, or you can pay for all
Right.
5 for 20 up front.
Right. And I think there's always like a weed round.
Well, I think
Ah,
well, the last
nice.
2 shows there has been, yes,
Yeah. I
and
don't know
I
if
think that's
they're-
going to be
that's
consistent.
The one
yeah.
consistent one.
Yeah.
Is there a movie round? Those are the ones that I usually like fucking kill it. Like
Well,
I'm telling when I
Yeah, they're movies, but they go really specific. Like they threw everyone for a curveball
Yeah.
by asking everyone about Backdraft. So it was a roundabout Backdraft.
Yeah. See,
So
Yeah,
how much
no.
Backdraft info do you know?
the movie Backdraft.
The movie Backdraft.
The one with
No.
Billy Baldwin.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I
I've
know.
not seen that one.
If that's the big the
Apparently,
hardest
guess what?
question, I got it
They're
right.
making a Backdraft too.
Are they really?
Yes.
That's a fucking fire.
Guess who's
Now I
available?
feel
Guess
like
who
I
the
have to
first
see
person?
Backdraft one.
Right, maybe
Guess
it
the
was,
first
like,
person to say
purposely-
they were available was.
Billy Baldwin.
Yep,
He's
you
fucking
got it.
hot as fuck.
He's been waiting by the phone.
Because firefighters are hot. Everybody loves firefighters.
No, but he's been
No
waiting
one
by the
ever
phone. Is a
calendar.
joke.
I feel like I have heard of this now.
Yes,
Then
no one ever says "ew" firefighters.
No, no.
Right?
I mean, it's like you want to be saved by a
I know.
firefighter.
don't you dare light the place on
Is the
fire.
firefighter here?
It's like, why are you putting makeup to bed? And why are you wearing sexy lingerie to bed? What is going on?
And why do you have 100 candles lit around the house?
Did I ever talk about my weird cab ride? I drove a Baldwin somewhere.
Oh my God!
which
Yes, you
Baldwin?
did. It was
It
Alec.
was
I
no,
guess
it wasn't
you're
Alec.
telling
It was not Alec.
wasn't?
It was not Alec, and it wasn't Billy. It was the
The oldest?
It was
the
Billy.
older sort of craziest one.
I
which
think I
one
know
is
who
The
you're
one that
talking
gets in
about,
the
yeah.
most trouble.
Yeah.
And I should have known because he
Oh.
didn't know what hotel he was going to meet this girl.
Is that William Baldwin?
I don't know which one he is. I forget.
Probably.
But
No, that's Billy.
he's the
Baldwin.
wildest
William
Baldwin.
and Billy are the same.
It's
Okay,
not
Billy
Stephen. No, it wasn't Stephen, the crazy Christian one.
How many are
But we
there?
did
There's
talk
so
about
many.
him.
They're
Wait,
fucking-
But we
they're
did
like
talk
Irish
about him.
Catholic.
Oh.
There's so many.
There was one between
All right, I gotta look
Alec
this up. Keep talking.
and Billy. I'm pretty darn sure. And that's the guy I had. He's reject
Did
Baldwin.
you recognize him right away?
Oh
Or
yeah,
did the
you
drugs caught up
couldn't
to
not.
him?
He was a Baldwin. I mean, as soon as he got in the car, he had the voice too. He sounds much like his brother. Like he sounds like Billy. I mean, no, he sounds like Alec. But he looks a little more like Billy and Alec morphed. You know, like he's somewhere in between.
So
He's wider. You
Those
know?
genes are strong, man. Those
Yes,
Baldwin genes
yes, they
are
really-
so
they're like the Kennedy
strong.
family of like
Billy-
actors.
Yes.
Billy, Stephen, Daniel, and Alec.
It was Daniel then, I
Was it
guess.
Daniel?
No, wait, hang on, give me them again.
Daniel's the most athletic of the four.
No, that would be Stephen probably. No, Stephen's the kid. Give me them again. Alec,
Billy,
Which is
Stephen.
William, right?
Yes.
Billy.
William Baldwin, Stephen Baldwin, Daniel Baldwin, and Alec Baldwin. Aren't there four? Yeah.
Who's
that's
the
right.
oldest? Go by age.
I don't know.
Alec is first.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah.
This was the roughest of the Baldwins.
It was probably.
I think it's Billy.
Daniel. It was probably Daniel, the one that you pulled.
Okay.
Drove. Yeah. Probably.
But he's not the one. No, Billy Baldwin's the one of the backdraft. We got all stuck. I'm sorry.
No, I think that's right.
I'll have to
Billy
chop
Baldwin.
5 minutes right there.
God, this is so boring. Like anybody cares.
Wait,
about
so he
this.
couldn't remember his hotel, or?
Yeah, literally. Like he was meeting some girl who was. I'm pretty sure. Like I got the idea that she wasn't altogether sober. So
Were you in the car with her?
No, she was at the location.
Oh.
And she couldn't really give like where she was, and then it got all confusing. And then I dropped him at a hotel.
Of course,
and
it's
I'm
assumed
not
the
even sure it
female-
was the right one.
Yeah, of course it's assumed the female.
You like had to babysit a fucking Baldwin and his date, essentially. Not just drive, but also babysit them.
It sounds like you.
But
had
I did get to talk about Stephen. That was funny.
Yeah.
Like he did kind of like give him some shit, like bust his balls, like you would do to another brother.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he like fucking
family
ran him.
time.
Yeah, but he gave him a little.
How did he come up?
Because I brought him up.
Oh.
I mean, he was a fucking Baldwin. I said,
know.
"Oh my God, I'm driving a fucking Baldwin here."
I would get all flustered and not even remember which one he was.
But I'm
because
pretty
they
sure
all
he
look
was
alike.
like, "Do you mind if I smoke?" kind of Baldwin.
They
So
resemble each other.
yeah, like he smoked in the car, kind of Baldwin, if I recall.
I think that's Billy. I think
Yeah, I'm
that's
pretty
Billy
sure you're
Baldwin.
right. I can't. Yeah, he was rough around the edges. He might have had a tattoo on his neck for all I remember.
Damn. He's a bad Baldwin.
Yeah, he was like the bad boy Baldwin.
role,
Yeah,
it's
it was
for
a
a role.
total vibe.
Not a role.
I don't know if he did or didn't, but I got that kind of vibe.
Hilarious.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I brought it up.
So is that recent, like this past month?
That was like years
That was
ago
like
now
a
at this
few-
point.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I was driving when we first moved back to Jersey, to get some kind of stability.
Yeah,
I was
he-
driving
he was
I was driving a limo, which is really a town
Mm.
car most of the time. I was driving for a limo service.
And this was before like Uber became a thing.
Yeah, just before Uber broke.
Yeah. And our friend
I got out just in time.
And our friend owns the livery, you would call it.
Yeah.
And they seem to be okay. I don't know how well they're doing with Uber and all that though. They might be losing business.
In retrospect, I did make a lot of drops to Trump's golf
my God.
course.
Ew, let's not say that word.
Oh my goodness.
We don't like saying that word, the T word.
You know what's interesting about like I follow several people on Instagram and not realizing until I look at their stories that they're either an Uber or Lyft drivers, and many times they are left in the car alone with a child. Like the
Really?
mom or dad will be like, "All right, I'll be right back," and they're like,
Wow.
"Oh my God, like this woman has been gone for 20 minutes. Where is she?" And they're just like
Babysitting.
alone with this fucking kid in the back, and it's so weird.
It's like I think I have a new kid.
Yeah, like they're just
babysitting.
So nervous.
It's babysitting. You are hijacking.
Yeah, I know, but why would you, as a parent, why would you leave your kid with someone you don't know in the car?
I know, and that happens.
Well, you kind of do.
So much more.
They have a 5-star rating. What are you going to do?
Yeah, and the jokes keep coming. It's like this kid has been here long enough that he's calling me daddy or whatever the fuck, it's insane that there is that weird trust, which I was like, I
wouldn't do that.
Well, didn't you hear recently this one Uber guy got busted because he was running his own video cam?
Yeah.
But it was a
And
pay
then he
service
was
too,
paying-
because people were like paying him to
He was
watch.
getting, like-
to people watch.
Yeah, he was getting subscriptions.
was it
from
like
people.
his own cab confession?
Yeah,
kind of
text-
type?
Yeah, kinda
Essentially,
like
yeah.
that. And all he was doing was recording people. In the
Yeah, he was just
backseat.
broadcasting.
He was
what
just
in-
putting it up on YouTube and getting revenue from that.
Yeah, he had a hidden cam in his car.
Hey,
It's
you
just-
know what?
yeah.
He tried.
Yeah.
And the worst thing
He
that
didn't-
could happen happened. So
He was
Right.
monetizing.
It wasn't that he was doing anything like inherently bad. It was
No.
just the fact that he was recording them without
With their notice.
knowledge.
But hey, well, in some states you can do that apparently. In New York, it's a one-party consent.
and he
Yeah,
consented.
I know in
so that was
certain
fine.
restaurants they'll do that where you walk in. I guess like there's a sign there that'll say like we record audio, blah blah blah, in here.
You know what? I think
Well,
it
in
was actually-
Jersey,
that was
it-
on his
it's funny.
window or something,
Oh, yeah,
but
you
it's
had
like
a little-
small
you-
print,
yeah,
so they
like
didn't
you're-
read it.
right.
So
Yeah.
You
When we
release the right
film,
to-
like when we filmed and stuff, we would have to put up signs at many locations
Right.
because of that.
especially like a release form if you get
Yep.
them for one reason or another.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
I would probably just have. I mean, I have a dash cam on my car, but it's obviously recording the road, but it records audio too. So. I mean, that's probably another way around. It's like you don't have to see them, but you can hear it if you want to.
yeah, just post it on YouTube, get some revenue.
Yeah, and isn't like audio really is the more invasive thing usually too.
True.
Like listen to those Trump tapes.
Oh, I
Where
know.
it's like bullshit.
Yeah.
That's a lot of bullshit. Now, let's talk about how I'm going to pay off this whore.
Nothing weird here.
We'll use cash.
I know. He's so gross.
There's never anything illegal about a statement like that.
No.
And it's never any good for presidents usually when they have the statement, we have tapes.
Oh, my
Right.
God.
How was the Panic at the Disco concert you guys went to?
That was insane. That was pretty cool.
I was in yeah.
Yeah. It was like when you looked around, it was easily, I mean, first of all, it was sold out and it was an MSG.
Oh my God. A sold out show is always mind blowing.
Yeah. And
like,
when
you never realize how much people you live with until you're you're
and
in
that
a
was
sold out
it.
show.
And it wasn't like bullshit. It wasn't like, it's they say sold
They
out.
were
It was
so-
fucking sold
This
out.
place was packed,
And it was like 5 to 1 women.
Oh my God, yeah.
So it was
Oh,
amazing.
wow.
You just
He's
looked
amazing.
around and it was beautiful young women
He's amazing.
everywhere.
He's so
Yeah.
amazing. I want to eat him up.
Yeah, that's probably why all the women were there. That was the place for men to go pick up some pussy for sure.
I wanted to eat him
you
up. I wanted to
couldn't
cuddle
not.
him.
I mean, and it was
They're already horny. They're just ready to get it on.
Oh my God,
and the fucking and it's like LGBTQ friendly, but it's just like a whole when they do girls,
pansexual, and he was like,
and they do girls, boys, girls, whatever the fuck the song is. Girls love girls and boys is the line. He has everyone he gave everyone like a filter to put over your phone, and so the audience was all sectioned off.
Yeah,
so that you got rainbow effect when you looked around the audience.
Oh, that's killer.
Yeah, you had to look under your seat. You had like a little laminate thing for your phone.
And no voice because every song I was like, oh my God,
yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah, and now apparently he worked on Kinky Boots.
Yeah,
I've been wanting to see that.
So he did. I don't know.
He did. Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yeah, as a sort of
so
homage
cute.
to Cyndi Lauper.
That was killer.
I know.
And of course, you can't go wrong doing that song in a 5-to-1 ratio place.
Hell no.
And then what else?
What's wrong with that?
No, nothing.
You know what's crazy? I actually just found out that that wasn't a Cyndi Lauper original.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, I think you're right. Who was?
Yeah,
that?
I think the original song is probably from the 60s or something.
Oh wow, I didn't even realize that.
Yes.
But here's what I do know. She's gonna live forever from that fucking what do you call it? True
totally.
Colors.
Oh my
True
God,
Colors. And she deserves it for that fucking song.
love
It's
her.
amazing.
Well, he did it. I think they did it live. I don't remember where they were, but they for some show she was there and was able to do it with him.
Well, so the
not
girls,
for ours.
the girls are there and they want to have fun. So why not do that too?
Yes.
And it was so great. Thanks for asking. It was awesome. It
Yeah, he
was
also did Bohemian Rhapsody from.
Oh my
end
God.
to
Oh my
end.
God.
Yeah.
His voice.
Yeah.
He hits notes. I'm like, what? What? Did he just
Right?
hit that note and break the sound barrier?
I got a lot of footage actually. I just need to post.
Oh, he's just so talented. It's like, what?
Yeah, because all I saw was that you guys had taken a picture, a selfie, that you guys
Yeah.
were there, and that's all I got. I was like, oh my God, how was it?
Yeah. We
I thought I
took
put
a
some
lot
up.
of video. There was
But
a
it
lot
might have
of
been on
video.
Facebook. I don't even know where the fuck I'm putting stuff
Yeah, and then
nowadays.
I think it was in your story, so it was so fast.
Yes, that's right. The story shit. That's the
Yeah.
other whole thing you got to get used to. Like, how
And
do we
then
work
we
this
sat-
whole aspect?
And we
Oh
sat
my
next
God,
to
the
the
whole
coolest
story
girls.
aspect, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. So a lot of my clients, they're within the 40 plus range, 50 plus range, all that. And so they're not on social media at all, barely. And they're asking me things because that is the new advertisement, right? Whatever it is you're following.
Exactly.
So they're trying to figure it out. Well, how does this work? And I'm like, oh, well, it'll last for 24 hours. And then they start getting pissed. Are you fucking kidding me? I have to work all this hard for just 24 hour advertisements.
Yes, it's all nuts.
Yeah.
Well, you can set it up so it stays in your
Yeah, I think you
feed,
can.
but you just have to set
or
up.
It's in your highlights or something.
Yeah, so it'll just repeat
but again,
itself.
it's more bullshit you got to do to market
Right.
yourself.
Right.
It's more shit you got to learn.
Right.
You got to
Well,
wear another hat.
Isn't Instagram a part of Facebook?
Yes.
Okay.
But Instagram it was its own entity.
Right.
And
I
then
like Instagram.
Yeah, well,
I think that was the same thing with Twitter. I don't know what Zuckerberg owns, but
it's still sort of. I mean, it's hipper than Facebook. That's all I could say. And people seem to, because it's picture driven. It's a little different.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people like it too. I mean, that's why I like it.
I think that can be why I like it and I hate it at the same time. It really depends.
Really, I think I like it more for that because.
Well, it depends on what the person's like about.
You tend to blow off the comments, you know what I mean?
Right.
Unless there's a picture accompanying it.
Yeah. But like you really would have to want to drill into it to drill into comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I think. And that's another weird thing. Like I'll get messages, and this is what I've noticed about other people. Like people don't notice getting messages on Instagram. Like if you get personal messages. They may sit for a week before you realize how to even find them.
You just have to be savvy enough to know where to go.
Right. I think because most of the time, like my friends and I, we're either constantly sending each other memes and videos through Instagram. Yeah. So it's a constant thing where you're always seeing the top right corner, like a number.
Yeah.
And then that's when you know it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I can say that's for sure because Shaddai constantly spams me with things.
Oh my God, I'm always spamming them.
Sometimes it'll be things that I've sent her already, like the same day.
So you guys are more active for longer on Instagram. Right. That's what that means.
Yeah. I do that to my daughter too, though. I send her stuff all the time.
Yeah. Of late, though, that's my social. That's a social media tool of preference just out of habit now.
Yeah,
just because
I haven't really been using Twitter that much.
Yeah, you start to get so fucking sick of.
But with the show, we have to.
Getting clobbered out on either by Trump on Twitter or whatever the fuck. All the politics just drive me nuts. I can't help but get sucked in.
Yeah.
I think Trump became that. Here's what's funny. So. When Facebook was around, this was around when Joseph and I were still in college, and you had to have a university email in order to have Facebook before it was available to the masses. And so the moment it was available to the masses, that's when like our parents got on it, right? Like they had I think my mom still had her AOL account or whatever the fuck.
MySpace, bitches.
Yeah. No, totally.
Did you see that?
We had MySpace and then it went to Facebook.
Hotmail.
See, that is fascinating to me. Like, think about it. There was a time when if you had the thing, like that became the brand. For instance, Kleenex, or
Band-Aids.
Band-Aids, exactly. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like you're so synonymous with the product, your brand. But now, like the originators, like, for instance, MySpace. They're the butt of a joke.
Yeah.
And but the second guy somehow makes it in the age of the computer. It's so weird. Like Google wasn't first, Yahoo was first.
I can't remember where was I read it or heard it, but it was
Reddit.
You don't have to be first, you just have to be better. Kind of thing. I know what it was.
Yeah.
It was a TED Talk on the glasses. Where's the frames where you can like buy like 3 or 4 frames
Warby Parker.
Online.
Warby Parker.
Oh,
yes.
Warby Parker.
It was a TED Talk about how like they weren't the first people to do it. They just had to do it better. And that's what made them so bigger and greater than the rest of the competition.
They branded. They became branded.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I still use iBuy Direct because I'm a cheap motherfucker, but
because you want to see,
no plug, but wow, that's just some weird thing that I've noticed in the age of computers. But that's an interesting concept. You just have to do it well, or you just have to do it better, or you just have to get it stuck into somebody's brain properly.
Exactly, and I think that's just it. Is that you kind of let other people work
Fail.
on the bugs, right? Like they get the beta testing out there, and then you kind of sort of see like why it didn't work, why it did work. So they're almost like testing it for you.
Don't repeat their mistakes.
And then from there you learn. You figure out like, oh, this is what they should have done. I mean, Joseph and I do it all the time. Every time we're watching a movie, and if we feel like the ending was such a failure, we're like, they should have ended it this way.
I am flashing back to the wisest boss I ever worked for, a woman named Ann Barger, who was also Ann Kerwin. But she said, I don't mind being on the cutting edge. I just don't want to be on the bleeding edge.
Ooh, clever.
Boom. Yeah. But now I get it, like, wow. Hey.
Oh, totally.
Wise woman.
Yeah.
One of my one of our clients, he was talking about a time that he worked for this one guy. And he had like a really great job. Like he was super high up. And he quit. And they're like, well, where are you going? He's like, I'm going to help my brother sell books online. And then they finally realized that it was Amazon. They're like, holy fuck. Like, that was it. Like, it was the beginning of Amazon. He was like, yeah, I'm going to go help my brother sell books.
Oh, it's so funny. That's when I used Amazon when they just sold books. That's how long I've used Amazon.
Yeah. Oh my God, there was a time when it was.
God, I could have fucking grown with that company instead of just fucking paying them.
Right?
Fuck.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Oh well. You know what? Here's the truth, though. What I discovered: technology's a bitch, and you know what? I'd rather it's a tool, and when you're in a universe that like, I don't know, where the tool is the center of everything, it's kind of weird, and it's too much for me. Like, there's way too much weird techno ego involved.
I think we become so dependent on it, and you almost don't know how to live without it. It's been sold to us that it's going to make your life easier, but then you start kind of questioning like how much of your life are you really living?
Right.
Yeah, and when you're in IT, it's like then your business is technology. That's to me when it becomes, get me the fuck out of here, because I did that for way too long. And it was just like the tool no longer is even a tool. You know what I mean? The tool is a Pandora's box. You know? Right. It's on your desk. It's your product. It's everywhere. And like that is your life. You're either selling the storage of data or you're selling data. And the whole thing is air or electronic bits.
Yes,
and
you're selling air.
And in a catastrophic event, it's all gone. You're selling concepts. It's nuts. And numbers and licks, if you will. Licks of the tadpole, you know?
It's nothing tangible.
Here's what I was wondering the other day. So since when I started working, like it was already a time when, smartphones were around and everything. And so when I'm not, doing work or whatever on a call or whatever I was at the time, like I could be on my phone looking up stuff. What did people do before they had phones and things to get on the internet and look at stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Just a book?
Yeah. You would either take a book with you, which was easy because you got to read through it. I remember reading a lot.
You know what?
Okay,
I guess
how about this?
Because I've even seen some of the some people still doing that back when I first started working.
Can I have a movie recommendation for you?
Yeah, totally.
When's the last time you guys watched All the President's Men?
Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh my God, I love that movie.
If you haven't watched it recently,
it's been a very long time.
Watch it again because
it really does.
You get to see how people functioned without computers.
It's like crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like typewriter, right?
Yeah, when they had typewriters.
You almost had to be a chain smoker too, because you're like constantly like, all right, smoke break.
Yeah, and that phone. It was telephones. It was records. It was research meant going to the library. Yeah. So
all that shit.
Yeah.
You kind of did all that stuff. It was just an analog version.
Yeah, I remember going to the library and doing research for papers, and that was like I can't even imagine doing that now. Just like blindly searching around for
I know, right?
Things.
Well, not even
having to get up.
What a waste of time.
It's index cards. I remember I used to have packets of index cards, a shitload, just to write like bullet points or just to like find something, anything like that.
Encyclopedias.
Like I wanted encyclopedias so bad. Like I seriously was a product of watching Carmen Sandiego, especially the game show, and I was like, oh my God, Encyclopedia Britannica, I want that. Like I was like, that is the prize. I want that in my life. Yeah.
My father one time pointed out to me that my grandfather had essentially lived through the birth of manned flight. From, the first manned flight, because he was alive in I think he was born in 1900 or 1901 or something.
Is this his dad?
Yeah, this would be my grandfather. And he lived all the way to see the space shuttle.
Wow.
And essentially, my generation has seen really the same thing with certainly with home computers and the desktop and personal computing.
Right.
We were there for the birth because we were there for Atari, which to me is like the beginning of home computing entertainment that people wanted. And then
and everyone's staring at people playing Pog.
Yes, exactly.
You're like, oh my God.
There was Pong, there was Combat,
Pong,
there were Pong.
Was a little later.
Yeah, Pogs were like, what were they, milk carton tops or something like that?
Yeah.
That was more about collectibles.
You had to stack them up and use your slammer.
It's like a chips.
See, you guys probably got that. Yeah.
I don't remember those. Do I?
Were you guys also
collected them. It
Pokemon
was
cards?
Oh yeah, Pokemon.
We didn't have the Pokemon, or I didn't have the Pokemon cards.
That was my generation.
That I believe. Hey, you know what came out today? I was thinking of you, Joseph. Infinity Wars.
Yeah, Infinity Wars.
And that Tom Holland kid. So have you...
Oh, yeah.
Did you see pictures of the guy who showed up at Comic-Con with a fully functional... what was it? Basically had the Iron Spider with the working arms and everything.
So cool.
What?
Yeah, I think I saw pictures of that.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. Are you going there yet?
Not quite.
You haven't got working
not
arms?
my budget just yet, yeah.
No.
You got to do that.
That
But
was
if you do,
insane.
then you go more for the comic one. Because I like the color
Yeah, but
scheme
that
better.
shit is hard to do. That shit,
And you got to make it so it can support your weight.
Yeah. Okay, get on
This
that
kid
now.
couldn't do that.
Math involved.
Yeah, get on that, Joseph. Okay.
Yeah, right now he's in the process. Well, he should be, anyways, of finding his outfit for a vampire ball that we will be attending.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely not in the process of doing that.
Oh, you're gonna be a vampire. Ooh, which vampire are you gonna be? Ooh.
I'm gonna be the one with fangs and no other clothes on.
Are you gonna drink blood? Or are you gonna be like an energy vampire that only sucks good energy? Ooh. I'm a positive vampire. Ooh, what the fuck is that?
Oh no! What is that?
There's all kinds of weird shit going on in the vampire community.
Myself. Yeah.
They're no longer blood-sucking fiends. Somehow they're like, I'm good. Ooh, I'm misunderstood. Ooh.
That's just from the Twilight bullshit.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah, no.
Poorly written vampires.
Yeah, no. This will be definitely different. It's interesting because it's almost like a very sexualized fetish kind of ball. I think like they're gonna have the burlesque and they're gonna have all these different men and women to really explore their sexuality with it. So it's
in your mind it is. I wonder if it's gonna be just a bunch of shiny, glowy people.
No, because I looked online to see like what it looked like last year because the big one is actually in New Orleans.
I mean, there is a lot of that in the vampire community. There's a lot of fetish. There's a lot of there's always a lot of crossover and where you find a lot of cosplay, I think.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm very excited for that.
When is that? September?
It'll be in September.
No, we got time.
Like, the Rennies are a gateway to the fetish community. They always have been.
Goodness. But yeah, I am. I'm really excited for it.
So be careful.
It sounds like fun.
Someone might bite your neck.
Well,
I hope it's real, though.
Or slip you a roofie. Are we losing you, or are we getting a delay?
No, we're here.
Anyway, so where were we? I feel like we just railroaded the show with the roofies.
You were talking about San Diego Comic-Con.
Right.
Yes.
Were there any of the trailers that you really enjoyed that you're looking forward to?
You know what? I had no interest in Shazam until I saw the trailer.
Yeah. It actually looks interesting and fun for a change.
I think it's going to be, it totally looks so much fun. It kind of has a sort of big feel to it for me, like Tom Hanks is big.
Yeah, I feel, I know he doesn't look like him, but there's something Paul Rudd-like about the guy they cast as Shazam.
Oh, Zach Levi?
Yeah, I mean, he feels like the budget Paul Rudd to me. So, I think that might work.
I love Paul Rudd.
And it feels like, I don't know if you've seen it in the comics, like Shazam, or Captain Marvel, whatever you want to call him, is like, had become a conglomeration of kids at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Like 5 orphans would morph into Shazam.
Yeah, in Flashpoint, that's what he was.
Okay. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. It just looks so much fun.
We've been watching Supergirl.
Oh, go ahead.
We've been binging Supergirl again.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
We still haven't watched that at all.
Started that, yeah.
You know what? Here's the thing. Because she's a woman, she's more vulnerable than Superman, and boom, easier to jump on.
Yeah, she's
nice.
Quite.
Yeah, very quickly. I mean, I know the first season is very much marketing to women, but there is a scene that I find hits home where she's like, "You wouldn't. No one would ask Superman these questions."
Oh, she brings it real.
Yeah. She's like, wait a minute, no one asked my cousin these questions.
Right.
Because, are you, do you have a boyfriend? That kind of shit.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I need to watch that. I have a friend. She works on that show, so.
Oh yeah.
I should at least support her.
Do they shoot a lot in Atlanta?
No, I think they were shooting that in LA for a good while before. And then it got bought out at.
It's up in Canada. It's up in Quebec or where? No, where is it? Where do they shoot that stuff?
Not sure.
It's where Kevin goes. What's the western Canadian
Vancouver?
city? Is it? Yeah, Vancouver. That's it.
Vancouver, Canada.
That's right.
I want to go to that place so bad.
We're gonna be happy if we make it out to Vegas.
Can I say I'm excited
weeks.
about Aquaman and Glass?
Nice.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Both of those.
Yeah,
Night
Aquaman
Shyamalan.
looks super sexy,
Yeah.
but yes, like Glass.
Glass is
I
M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah.
really enjoyed Unbreakable and Split.
I did. I liked Unbreakable.
Right.
But Split. What's Split? Was that another one?
Split was
Yes.
2016. That was what, wasn't it?
That was a sequel.
Yeah, with James McAvoy.
Yeah, that was the
Right,
one
with James McAvoy.
with James McAvoy, who's in Glass also now.
Yeah,
See, I missed that.
that was the one that Maura really liked.
Okay, see,
Split.
I don't know how I missed
Yeah.
that one.
It
It was
good.
very good.
It was
It was
good.
very
It was good.
good.
So yeah, Glass looks good. I'm
You know what I
ready.
really enjoyed and was so late to the fucking queue on was what do you call it? Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
I haven't seen that yet, but I'm curious about it. I think we're going to review it for our show, actually.
The fucking
you
Nick
should.
Cage is Superman.
I know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That would be perfect for your
Damn.
show.
Check out the trailer. It's fucking
It looks so
insane
good.
too.
That is
It's out now.
hilarious.
It's like literally out
it's
now.
out
You
now.
could go
Why
in the
didn't
theater right now and watch it.
They really didn't.
Yeah.
Make a
It's
big
so
deal.
crazy because I remember the whole what was it? Tim Burton was gonna do it with like Superman with him, and they even did like some testing, and now it actually
Yeah.
becomes a reality.
Yeah,
There's a documentary
actually,
about it.
the
You should see it.
documentarian died last week.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
man.
Yeah, he was only 50. He died
What
of a
was the
stroke.
name of it? What?
The
what-
name of the movie is Superman. Who
what
killed
happened?
or what happened to Superman Lives or who
That's
killed
right.
Superman Lives? I
Is
can't
this
think
the
of it.
same director that did Metalocalypse? Or is that
Yes, I
another-
believe
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
And and he just passed. Like he
Yes.
had like a stroke. It was like sudden,
Right.
and it was really like.
He was so young.
We talked
It's-
about
and
it
it was like
on the last show.
complications right after that, right?
Yeah. I ended up watching that documentary as a result of that, which was why it was like, oh, Teen Titans Go with him. Wow, that's so weird. It's everything's full
Oh,
circle.
it was the
John
death of
Schnapp.
Superman Lives.
That's it.
What happened?
John
Thank you.
Schnapp. Yeah.
John Schnapp. That's right.
That's
yes.
a good documentary if y'all haven't seen it.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
Go throw some money to his widow.
Very good.
or
I
I'm
know.
not sure. if she's-
Horrible. He had a stroke, dude.
Man.
Yeah, sudden and like, wow.
Strokes are like that. Just
Yeah, because of a blood clot or something.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So be careful.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do if you have that. I mean,
Kevin had a
I
heart
know.
attack.
It's like you have to go through like physical just to see if
Yeah.
you're susceptible of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So get
And he-
checked out, guys. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know what to say. It's like, what do you say after that? Like,
Yes. Get a stress test or whatever.
yeah.
Let them watch the dye go through you.
Yeah. Well, he was young. Well, he was our age.
Oh, actually-
everyone's our age lately.
Ralph just had a stress test.
Oh my god.
And
yeah.
he was like aces high.
Yeah, and he's like a drunk.
Yes. I think that's
So-
why. I think it's the alcohol. It pickles
Really?
you. Thins your
Alcohol
blood.
preserves you.
Thins that blood.
It does. It does.
Well,
He
I mean,
drinks
if
a
you
lot.
don't do it in excess, it's supposed to be good for
I
you.
think he does it in excess. But
For wine, yeah. Beer, not so much.
I think everything, honestly, like
I mean, why not?
just in general,
In
right?
moderation.
Like that's a yeah.
Yeah. If you're like a 2 drink a day person, which is a normal
yeah,
person.
Yeah, don't drink your nutrition. You probably have to eat something also.
Not probably. You definitely do.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking.
Well, that's what I've heard. As someone who does not drink normally and so therefore does not drink, I know how to spot a normal drinker. It's very simple. You can tell by their third one, they usually slow down and they're like, I'm good. I'm okay.
Right. They got the buzz. They're good.
Yeah, and they'll nurse that third one.
Yeah.
Because usually if they don't nurse that third one, they feel icky. That starts to come back at them.
The drunk is the one that goes into the blackout, like right away. It's like bam.
Where's you not in your head?
Where's the shooter? Where's the bong? Where's my beer bong?
And proceeds to piss on himself or herself.
Yeah. Oh, those are always good.
Yeah. Yep. Why I have leather seats in my car.
Wow.
He's a good
That's
planner.
good planning.
All right, we want to take a moment to talk about Death Wish Coffee. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, do yourself a favor and get over to deathwishcoffee.com. And there you can buy the strongest coffee known to man without a prescription.
The world's strongest coffee ever.
Yes, as proudly displayed on my wife's sweatshirt over there.
Yes, on my body, on my mug,
yes,
on
it's
my
on my
K-cups.
Yes, and you'll know them by their telling sign of the skull and crossbones.
It's
that tells
so
you
good.
Exactly what you're in for. It's that used to be the international symbol for poison, but now it is the symbol for good damn coffee.
It's awesome. Without milk, with milk, you don't really need it because it's strong.
But
it's
not bitter?
Not bitter. So you don't even need milk. You don't even need sugar, but you can add it if you'd like. It's just really, really the perfect, strongest, most awesome coffee.
Become a junkie of Death Wish. DeathWishCoffee.com. Thank you very much.
Enjoy it.
And be sure to get 10% off your order at www.deathwishcoffee.com when you use the code ThatMan. That's one word, conjunctified, all caps. ThatMan for 10% off your orders at deathwishcoffee.com. I want to take this time to mention to you www.audibletrial.com/ThatManOnFatMan. That's right, www.audibletrial.com/ThatManOnFatMan. That's one word, conjunctified. Go there, sign up for your free 30-day free trial. Sign up, get a free book, a free audiobook, because you don't have to go through no tedious reading. You don't have to turn no fucking pages. You don't have to do any of that bullshit. You get in your car, you put on your headphones, and you are listening to a book. You're taking a magical journey into a fictitious land. You're expanding your mind, all when you're stuck in traffic. Fucking amazing. Audiobooks. These are the wave of the future. And you can get in for free for 30 days. A free trial. And when you get your free trial, you can download a copy of Tough Shit by our Savior, Kevin Smith. That's right. Our Lord and Savior, Kevin Smith, has left words for us to follow in our lives, and we can get it for free just by signing up to audibletrial.com/ThatManOnFatMan. That's right. audibletrial.com/ThatManOnFatMan. Thank you. Please sign up. You'll be very happy you did.
This is going to be like a little way off subject, but did you guys see the Godzilla King of the Monsters trailer?
Yeah.
Did I see that one?
You saw that one. Yes, you did.
But I feel like, even though I saw it, I feel like I don't, like that was the one that didn't stand out to me, or I don't remember it enough.
Man.
Yeah.
It's that 11.
Yeah, there's Mothra in it and shit, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And Ghidorah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
it's great.
I've just been so disappointed with, like, I'm not going to, basically when I saw it, I said, I'm not going to feed into the hype. They fucked me too many times, this Godzilla franchise. Let's put it this way. I mean, I got 2 words for you. Matthew Broderick.
Matthew Broderick?
Yeah.
Yes!
I mean, come on.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's holding a grudge.
You know what's so funny, though? Like, I feel like that Godzilla can now be considered one of those, like, cult B
But they
bad
literally,
movies.
but they literally do call him Godzilla in name only, right? Isn't that like how he's referred to in the Godzilla?
They call him Zilla now, and in some of the Japanese movies, like Godzilla 2000, I think they actually bring the American Godzilla into it just to have him immediately killed off by the Japanese
Yeah,
Godzilla.
I remember I saw that too.
Yeah, so they
talk about
they
it. Everybody
know
has
it's
a
there.
grudge there.
Right, it's
Right.
a shameful part of the Godzilla's history for sure.
Here's
I'll
my
just
favorite
say
part of
is
that movie.
fucking soundtrack was legit.
I don't even remember the soundtrack, but here's what I do
Oh
remember.
my God. It was fucking like Puffy, I guess, like Puff Daddy had like the whole fucking thing.
What?
Yeah,
I don't
you
remember.
this?
I don't remember.
Oh my God.
Okay, here's what I do remember. They're in a helicopter. They're being chased by a giant Godzilla through the streets of New York City.
Of course.
There, at some point, oh my God, there's nowhere to go. Okay. You're in a fucking helicopter. How about up? How about up? You're not in a plane. You're not in a jet plane. You know, the whole idea of a helicopter is vertical movement.
What I remember about that movie
vertical,
is
yeah.
where they try to lure Godzilla out or lure Zilla out with a lot of fish, and Matthew Broderick says, "That's a lot of fish." And that was it. That's what I remember about that movie.
And then what you don't see is cut, sack full of money. Yes, that's the part we missed. Starting there, and then the last one, we got Tubbyzilla, Sumozilla, Fatzilla, who anytime, like, finally we got to see something happen, they fucking pan off screen.
Yeah, why did they do that?
They cut away all the fights. I got
Did
to
you
see,
like-
but I
did
know
you
we
like,
got to see what's his name a lot. I know we got to see Quicksilver or whatever the fuck. For some reason, the camera kept following him, the Lost Soldier Boy.
Yes.
Who in this movie was fucking his sister.
What?
Well, you know, that was in Infinity Wars or whatever. No, that was not Infinity Wars. That was Age of Ultron. They were brother and sister.
I don't remember what the guy's name is.
Yeah, it's the guy who stars in Godzilla, also starred in Age of Ultron as Quicksilver.
Okay, yeah, I didn't make the connection.
Yeah, that's him, and he's his sister. He's what's her name? He's in
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, he's Scarlet Witch's sister in one movie, but he's married to Scarlet Witch in Godzilla.
Oh wow, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, he's fucking his sister. It's very weird. The incest was off the charts. I couldn't get past it. I'm sorry. And and not to mention that they dangled what's his name in front of all of us. And they promised, no, they're not killing him off in the first 5 minutes. But they did.
Oh, Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston. Ooh.
Yep.
So the wounds go very deep for me with Godzilla. As you can tell. I've been fucked by the Godzilla franchise a few too many times.
Did you see the latest King Kong or Kong Skull Island?
I did.
That was actually fun.
I enjoyed it.
liked that.
I enjoyed it. I loved it. Matter of fact, I think because we even bought it for like $2.99. It went on sale digitally or something.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, I enjoy like the first 10 minutes. As soon as the tree enters the scene, everything is great.
And I liked that it had that stinger at the end that was cluing you into what is to come and connecting him with Godzilla's universe.
Yes, yeah, I like that too. But we'll see if they actually follow through with it. Like, do you think Loki's going to show up in Monster Island? I don't remember seeing him in the trailer.
I feel like with King Kong, it's going to be like, I don't think he'll be in Godzilla's new movie, but until like the end, I think he'll appear and he'll be the stinger for that. And then there will eventually be a Godzilla versus King Kong movie.
I thought that's where we were going. I thought that was that's coming next.
I don't think it's going to be. Well, it's definitely not next because
No, 'cause
Godzilla has to have
Monster
his own thing here, and then they're going to connect these two, I bet, and then we'll get the ultimate version.
And apparently he's like 450 feet tall now.
Godzilla or King Kong?
Godzilla. I think he's up to 450 or maybe 550 now. I mean, it's insane. He used to be 100 feet tall. 100 feet tall, motherfucker. What has happened to these guys?
He used to be like one building tall, and now
Gene's
he's
like, I am so bored. When you guys are talking kaijus, I'm out.
I'm just listening.
Shaddai's looking something up. What are you looking up?
I was trying to remember if Conga fought the T-Rex, and was that in this movie?
I mean, he fights him in like every movie.
Yeah, he fought him in the first movie originally because it was like, animated. How many likes could I throw in there?
Oh, okay, I see.
And then he fought like
remember
two.
the whole the cutting of like when he like tears the
rips
mouth.
his jaw.
But it wasn't T-Rex in this one. It was like a weird lizard type thing. But
in the Peter Jackson one, I think he
it
tears
was
his jaw.
T-Rex, yeah.
Of the T-Rex,
yeah.
Yeah, and what happened in this one? Those monsters are essentially like big versions from the original Godzilla. If you go back and look at some of the weird pit creatures and shit.
Right.
The big monsters, because you know how they were kind of like, there's something weird, like these don't look all that impressive. That's why, because they were really basing them on these old like pit crawlers. Go back to your original Godzilla, trust me.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you mean, Shaddai.
Yeah, I was trying to remember, but you're right.
But I know what you mean, like, because Godzilla always ends up crushing somebody's mouth.
Yeah, it's always doing the whole pulling. It's his
it's his thing. It's
his
his signature
move. If he
yes.
was like a wrestler, he's like, oh man,
finish him.
Break somebody's jaw.
Yeah.
Wait, I have to do this right. Finish him.
Jawbreaker.
Nice. The Jawbreaker.
Yeah. right from the fucking video games.
Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Right.
Mortal
Did you guys watch Glow?
We have not watched Glow, but I remember watching actual Glow as a kid.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Jealous.
Yes, that puts me way back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember, being in my 20s and being, a couple of beers in and watching Glow and being like, leave this on. It's chicks fighting each other.
Yeah, gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
Man, the series is so good, though, the Netflix series.
I saw recently that they're looking to put Mark Maron in the new Joker movie.
Yeah, I heard that.
Really?
And he's going to be like potentially like Joker's psychologist or something.
Isn't that supposed to be Harley? But that's
Harley Quinn, yeah.
That's an Arkham.
I don't know what they're going to do there.
I don't necessarily like the idea of us fleshing out the Joker's origins, but that's just me.
I'm curious about it in the sense that I'm curious to see who's playing him. Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah, yeah. All I could ever think of is Family Guy.
Oh my god, he's so mean.
Go back and watch the Three Kings episode.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
I don't know if I remember that.
It's just.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think Joaquin's going to be a great Joker.
Let me just give you the lead-in. So they do a Stand By Me ripoff parody because they do 3 Stephen King stories, and they talk about River Phoenix basically dying outside of the Viper Room, and all we're left with. Oh, I can't even say it. But they literally add that sound effect while they flash his picture on stage. Wah, wah.
Oh,
Dang, and Family Guy?
Yeah, and then in the next shot, after they cut what would have come back from a commercial.
No, because he has a hair lip.
And there you go. And Joaquin Phoenix, if you still are watching, you can be our friend.
Because he has a hair lip. It's something like a hair lip.
Yeah. It was all we're left with is a hair lip reminder of what could have been. I believe the line. Yeah, it was really low.
I like him though. I don't think of that every time. But...
Yeah. And I'm sure Ralph Garman had something to do with it.
Yeah. What do y'all think of the whole James Gunn thing?
We talked a little bit about this
My
last
heart's
week.
broken.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah, we think it was a hit job.
I think it was.
We're glad the cast came out.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Interesting timing. The day before Infinity Wars drops on if you have streaming, or I'm not sure if it's on Blu-ray, but it's definitely streaming.
It probably is because it's Tuesday. It usually comes out.
Yeah. So I
think James. I think he's gonna be fine. Like he was fine even before the fucking franchise. He'll be fine now. I think what's funny and interesting is that he was known for working on trauma for so long that it's like, how do you not know How did you not do your research?
Which
or
makes
I think-
money being offensive.
Right.
I think Disney did a little too much of a ready, fire, aim,
Right.
kind of strategy on this one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think they're biting, regardless what they're saying publicly, they're scared because, first of all, you have this petition, which one guy started in Scotland, and he's got like 330,000 signatures on. Then you have the cast kind of saying, hey, we'd like him back.
Yeah. But
And
are
they're
they
the
saying,
cast.
But are they
They're
saying,
not saying or else, but they're kind of like, you could read subtext.
I don't know if they would do that.
They're strongly suggesting that he come back. And just from, like, if I was at Disney, at very least, I'd fucking take the script. I'd buy the script. You know what I mean? And, like, at least be like, all right, no matter what, we're buying the script, so he's going to be there in his word.
I mean, the movie, like Guardians of the Galaxy, is about redemption. It's about, like, changing. It's about being a better person. It's about, like, discovery.
Gene's been sitting on this for like a week.
I just, like, but it is. It's all about the being a misfit or being all those things, and it's just not fair.
Yeah, it just feels like it's one of those
It feels like he grew through writing
it's
the movie.
Trump and their people trying to just take out people we
It's
like.
all about
all
about
the things we like and all who
it's
don't
about
like
that
him.
douchebag. What was his name? I can't remember his name anymore.
Trump.
That guy. That
Fuckstick.
That right.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about him or give
douchebag.
the show any fucking.
Yeah.
I think that it's just there's just such a PC battle going on that every company feels like they have to fire everyone for anything they've ever said. And he was kind of a victim of that. But I hear there's rumors even as of, I think today, that they're in meetings with him about rehiring him.
Good.
So, yeah,
I love that.
I bet that'll end up happening, and that'll
that's
just look
so
bad on
great.
Disney.
Of course.
If it happens, that's awesome. And it's so funny, too, because, again, cutting back to Infinity Wars, I watched it, and they have, like, extra bonus footage, which is like a director's roundtable of, the major directors of, Marvel's MCU.
Yeah.
And Kevin Feige, and he's in it. He's prominently featured. They cut to him a lot. And, like, hello, this is one of the architects here. You don't cut him because of a couple of wacky tweets and a right-wing hit job, which
And
it was a total right-wing
that
hit job.
He apologized already for.
Yeah.
And it was.
And meanwhile, then you look, the same hit job they tried to execute on Dan Harmon.
They did.
Fucking Cartoon Network said, go fuck yourself.
Well, it was Adult Swim, but yeah.
Adult Swim. Yeah, well, that's Cartoon Network.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Adult Swim.
Yeah, the guy who runs that said, "Go fuck yourself."
yeah.
Said, "Fuck." No, are you gonna fire? You're gonna get rid? We're like, no, we don't. No, we expect that from him.
Yeah.
Look at what we run.
Yeah, it's like, have you ever watched Rick and Morty? I mean, come on.
Oh,
Exactly. That's what we expect.
Yeah.
Irreverence.
Kids shouldn't really be watching.
We expect
that's
guys
why
running their
that's why it's
genitals
under
in a
Adult
baby doll's
Swim,
face.
Exactly.
Because it's supposed to be crude humor. It's supposed to, there is an audience for it that enjoys that, and so you're going to get writers and artists and everything who are not going to be so lightly offended to that sort of thing, that they understand that is the environment for it.
Yeah. And there's also a comment.
Did anyone see Slither?
Right.
Oh my God! I've been wanting to see Slither, the remake and the original, and it's so funny that you mentioned that.
Or was it Slither? What's the one with the? I'm talking about James Gunn's movie.
That was a remake.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It was
There was an original?
There was one.
Yes.
Before that.
See, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Maybe I might have seen that as a kid.
His was the remake.
You probably would have. I think the original was in the 70s.
Yeah, and my dad took us to a lot of weird movies in the drive-in or in the theater. That was like, why did we see this? Ooh.
Yeah, the original was from 73.
73.
Okay. All right. I remember seeing a weird spider movie and like a tarantula stinging a guy and then going in his mouth. And then like living there and webbing the guy up.
Oh my God.
I saw some weird stuff. Yeah.
On a completely different topic, again, are you guys going to see Christopher Robin?
Probably.
Oh, the Winnie the Pooh movie?
Probably.
Yeah.
I know Kevin is like in love with it. In love with the trailer.
I will probably see it just because I will. I
You
love
know, it's
Winnie.
interesting.
Yeah.
Recently, it was revealed that Winnie the Pooh is a girl.
Yes.
I heard that.
But
yeah.
doesn't and talk about hiding in plain sight?
It's Winifred.
Winnie.
Right.
Duh.
Right.
Like, how do we not know this anyway?
Well, I mean, it's like you don't even like think about him being like Winnie or Winifred. You just think of him as Pooh.
Right.
Or
Pooh Bear.
I keep saying him because that's just what I've known my
Yeah.
whole
I've
life.
just
But
thought
yeah,
of him as a boy. Just
Yeah.
because
Right.
He sounds like a boy. Oh, he just appears to
Well,
be a
yeah.
boy.
I mean, like even the.
I would like to go
character-
back. I guess we should all go look at the Milne writings or whoever it was who wrote them and see. Did it say
A.
what
A.
were,
Milne? Is
yeah,
that
what
it
were the fucking pronouns used in conjunction with her?
Oh my God, can't we just leave Winnie the Pooh?
Poor Winnie.
Poor
well,
Winnie.
the only reason I bring it up is
she was all
because like,
stuffed with fluff.
I'm super excited about it. Shaddai and I are both super excited about it. We're gonna
Yeah.
go see it on Thursday.
Wow.
Oh my God, that's so cute. Yes, we will be seeing it.
I just
Well,
love
you will?
that franchise.
I love Winnie the Pooh.
Maybe you'll go with Maura.
You're not gonna go? Oh my God, of course I'll go see Winnie
I don't
the
want to
Pooh.
go and fucking cry with Winnie the Pooh.
It
right
is
now.
very
But you
funny.
do.
I
You
know.
really
I
do.
don't
Like
wanna
that.
do it.
That is like
That's why you're
nostalgia,
Yeah.
hardcore. And that was one of those cartoons I remember when I was in elementary school. And if it was raining outside during PE, they would just pop that movie and we would just watch it over and over.
So cute.
And then reading the books, of course, and then really now as an adult understanding everybody's
Oh
characteristics
my
and
God, yeah.
Yeah.
it's so
Is
moving. It's
Tigger
so
in
wonderful.
it too? Did I see that Tigger's in
Yes.
it?
Tigger.
Or
Yeah,
no?
he's in it also.
Oh
Tigger.
my God, Tigger.
He's gonna bounce you.
Yes, I always like Tigger.
Would you like to get bounced?
Sure. By Tigger, anytime.
You know the wonderful thing about Tiggers.
Tigger's a wonderful thing.
His heads are made out of rubber.
And his
I think its tops is made out
tops
of
are
rubber.
made as rubber, his bottoms are made as spring.
Yes, he's bouncy, bouncy,
that's
bouncy, 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 fun, fun, fun.
And the voice of both
It's on
Tigger
the
and
only
Winnie the Pooh is Jim Cummings, who's the voice of Darkwing Duck also.
Ah,
That's right.
I did not know that at all.
Huh. I bet you Joseph told me last time too.
I wonder
Because I know I
did he
heard
do
that
Cheshire?
before, and I
Who
think
did Cheshire
Joseph
Cat?
told me.
He might have
did-
done Cheshire.
I have no
One of the
idea.
guys, because the Disney voices were very like they
Oh
had
yeah,
four or
they
five.
would use like the same people over and over.
Yeah, like
Well, originally Winnie the Pooh was somebody else, but Jim Cummings happened to be a good voice match, just like the old Goofy was someone else too. But then they found like almost an exact voice match in the guy who plays him now, and now he plays him in like everything. So if you can ever find a voice that you match of an older actor, then try to cash in on that, because if you do that, you're basically hired forever.
I think we
what
were
the
watching.
fuck happened to Kermit? That's
I
all
think I
want
remember
to know.
the Piglet guy. The guy who played Piglet, I remember.
Well, that's Mel Blanc. He was famous.
Yeah, Mel Blanc.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No blank.
If you're talking about,
I think I was
Porky
watching
Pig.
like a Western movie with my dad or something, and it was something I
Piglet.
think what's his name? Clint Eastwood was in it. It's a Clint Eastwood film. And in the bar, there are three guys sitting down.
Oh, yeah.
And all of a sudden, I was like, why are those voices so familiar? And they were like the three main voices.
They
who-
were the voices of the vultures from Jungle Book.
Yeah. And it was like, holy fuck. Like, it was amazing to see their faces. Like, wow. And they
You must-
sounded exactly the same. It was the same personality.
And it's just three
everything.
guys sitting at a table, just like
Yes.
the
So
vultures
funny.
were in the tree.
Yeah.
You're like trying to figure out, how do I know those voices from?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
sorry, I'm taking a. I need to wet the whistle.
That's okay.
Wet it.
Wetting it.
Ow!
Ew. What are
Didn't
you
come out so
doing?
well. I'm sexualizing everything.
Yeah.
Let's sexualize whistling.
No.
Thank you. Now I'm.
I do that with
harassing.
Joseph all the time. I always say, phew, phew.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're not a whistler?
No, I do whistle, but when it's like early in the morning, he's getting ready. I'm like, phew, phew.
Are,
Like,
you, are either
could be
of
my
you?
first words?
Can you either of you do that thing? You know, the really loud whistle,
With
like
your
the
fingers?
fingers under.
No.
No.
No, like trying to helicopter.
I would just spit all over my fingers.
You have to
I can't do
practice
that either.
doing that.
Yeah, I don't even know the technique or what's going on.
Yeah, I don't exactly. I don't
I
understand.
just did it.
I don't understand the
It sounds like you were
mechanics
trying
of
to trumpet.
It's like you got to like fold your tongue in.
I was gonna say it's like
also, the
rolling your
process-
tongue, something I can't do either. Like if you speak a lot of Spanish, you got to be able to roll your tongue. I can't.
Oh, I can't do that either.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
I tried
Should I-
twice.
I mean, I could do the like rolling, obviously, Yeah.
You guys sound like kitty cats.
That's a female thing.
I guess so.
Yeah.
What was that, Gene?
See, I just did it.
Yes. It's like purring.
It is. It's just like purring.
That's my purring.
So you guys go to Vegas in 2 weeks?
No, in September.
Yeah.
In September.
The first weekend in September.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So excited.
September. Yeah, we're only, it's like in and out.
Yeah, it's
will.
really Thursday.
Just like
through
Vegas
Sunday.
should be.
Yeah, we're coming back Sunday. It's really
Are
cool.
you guys going to see any like late shows?
I don't know, maybe.
No, probably not.
Why
I
are
don't
you
think we
saying
will.
no? Well, if I plan it, we're going.
All right, you go, girl. That's
No,
right.
if-
I don't even know what we're doing.
If
I'll just-
I plan it, we will go. Not I'm going to go by myself.
There you go. Well, that's what I mean.
Do you want to go see Barry Manilow? He's
Please,
actually-
no. No.
I
what is
might
it?
Barry Manilow.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Can you imagine if I got
No.
Barry Manilow tickets?
No.
Her name was Lola.
Oh my
She was a
God! No, it'd be
showgirl.
like,
Oh
you know
my
what
God,
that's
wouldn't that
like?
be
It's
the
like my
best?
parents' 8-track is gonna come walking through
The
the.
8-track.
Like I have to sit through my
do you
parents'
think those were
8-track.
like your parents? That was like their sex music.
Dude, that was like
Yes.
we had a 1975
That and the Bee
Cadillac
Gees.
Coupe de Ville
Job
with a leather
talking.
interior, and it
My
came.
dad had the Inagata DeVita as an 8-track.
It came with the fucking like the Cadillac 8-track, which
Isn't
had like
Inagata DeVita like 30 minutes?
popcorn.
Isn't that like a 30-minute song?
The cool
Yes,
shit.
dude, it is long.
Hey, the Spinners. We got the Rubber Band Man.
Yes, Rubber
Which
Band.
we heard
Rubber Band
today.
Man. Did you have that on 8-track?
I'm pretty sure that was no,
so
that was
cool.
vinyl for sure.
Yeah.
That was we'd spin that up on the vinyl.
What
Oh,
What do you think the music was that your parents had sex to?
I don't fucking know. Probably
they?
something.
The Beatles was definitely my parents.
No, my
I know
parents
because
sort
my
of
mom
missed the
told me.
60s. You know, they had like 250s and went right into
Were
the
your
70s.
parents like Hank Williams?
No. My parents are like out in the
Roy
West
Orbison.
Texas. But my dad did have the Marty Robbins album for
Marty
El
Robbins.
Paso. That's about as country as he got.
Oh, maybe it
Out
was
in the West
John
Texas
Denver.
town of El Paso.
John Denver. Oh my
no,
God.
that would be too cool for them.
Yeah.
They were like,
See,
you know,
my dad listened to that John Denver.
no, they'd be like,
Rocky Mountain High.
no. My parents would be like
Colorado.
fucking the Shirelles and shit. You know what I mean?
The Supreme.
Tutti Frutti on Rudy.
Tutti Frutti.
Tutti Frutti.
Wop,
That
bop, bop,
is
wop, bam,
funny.
boom.
Exactly.
That's what that sex
Yes.
to.
Yes.
Boom,
little,
boom.
Little Richard.
Golly, Miss Molly. Oh my God. Woo!
Yeah.
Ooh, you knew when they were playing that with their woo.
Yeah, Mom had to mask that out.
That's hilarious.
America's first drag queen.
Openly.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He was.
I mean, he was very,
Well, I
very
don't think he was
effeminate
a
on
drag
stage.
queen, but he was very gay.
Yes.
Yeah. More makeup, everything.
Yeah.
And he's still alive, isn't he?
I think he is.
I just remember the line, and I can't remember. I think it was the fucking. Hey, it's a callback to what's his name, the guy with the cleft lip.
Oh my God.
Now that's the way I'm gonna remember him.
Yeah.
You did it to me, Family Guy. What's his name now? Joaquin
Joaquin
Phoenix. Yeah,
Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Well, I mean, that's an obvious.
He played
trait.
Johnny Cash, right?
Right.
And there was like, I don't remember who the fuck it was, but someone else in the car was like, I just
Walk
had to
the
ride with
line.
Elvis. Well, he was talking about poon the whole time.
Walk the line. Is that what that was?
Yeah.
That was
That
good.
is such a weird way to describe fucking vagina. Poon. Like, was that short for something?
Pussy. Poontang. Yes,
Like, where'd the
poontang.
N come from for pussy?
Poontang.
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 I'm not even sure where that one comes from. Is that Spanish? I don't even know.
Poontang. Poontang.
Puta? Puta?
Puta is whore.
Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was a mutation of that.
Right.
With Southerners being what they are.
Some, like, Creole
Poontang. Me.
Poontang.
Kind of like they say ramen. I'm going to have some ramen salad. I wouldn't be surprised if we bastardized that one.
Oh my God. There's just so many words for fucking vagina.
Yeah. There are.
It comes from the French poutine, which is prostitute.
Ah, there you go. So that's a good thing.
There it is.
Well,
There's
you know,
origin.
the word vagina, I know where the root comes from. It's a sheath for a sword. It's Latin.
Yeah, so
Vagine.
it's pretty much our genitalia, and it means prostitute. Seriously?
Yes.
I find offense to that.
Well, just the root, vagina is a sheath for a sword.
I find offense to that, too.
As Kevin pointed out, you're nothing but a complimentary object to us.
Yeah.
Just a
if
sheath.
you choose to.
Yes, just something we put it in.
If you choose to. If
That
you
makes
choose
sense.
the penis route.
The vagine is the sheath.
If you choose the penis route.
Yes.
If you choose the penis route.
So when you start to look into the
Some women
etymology of
don't.
words, it might be frightening.
Some women don't choose the penis route for that reason.
They
'Cause they
do
don't want to
digits,
be the
they do
sheath
tongue. They do everything.
for a sword.
Yes.
I just found out that Girls Just Want to Have Fun is written by Robert Hazard in 1979.
There you go.
1979.
Would you like to know something else? Speaking of Barry Manilow, he was very famous for doing a song called "I Write the Songs." Ironically, he did not write the song. I write the song.
Who wrote that?
Someone else.
That
A guy who actually did
Milli
write
Vanilli,
commercials.
Who also sang it.
And he had
Yeah,
the
Milli
nerve.
Vanilli wrote
And
that
he had the
song.
nerve to say that he writes the songs that makes the whole world sing.
It makes the whole world cry.
No,
It makes the whole world
sing.
cry. I write the songs. I write the song. Again,
whole world
8-track
sing,
coming.
it's not cry.
He makes
Right.
he makes the whole world cry. Trust me. In there, he makes that whole world fucking cry. I know. I had to sit through that fucking song. Ah!
It's sing.
The memories. I'm getting PTSD. I'm kidding, Gene. Why are you
Okay,
acting
but it's-
so? You're acting
it's
like
sing.
it was anything but a fucking comedy
It's
reaction.
sing.
Oy.
Not cry, it's sing.
Trust me. There's make the young girls cry.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
Yes, that is right.
From their pussy.
If they choose the penis route.
Thank you.
Yes.
If they choose the penis route.
Because sometimes that's.
Suddenly I went J Muse on you. Pussy tears.
Gross.
For some reason, does anyone remember when J Muse was? I don't remember. Kevin must have told the story, but he was obsessed with the fact that in some porn that they watched, the woman said "fuck me in my fuck hole," and then fucking like Jay just couldn't get that. He's like, she said "fuck her in her fuck hole" moves.
Oh my
He
God.
said "fuck me in
Yeah,
her
I
fuck
don't
hole."
remember that, but that
moves."
definitely sounds like something he would have caught him and like, that is the most
I could
amazing
not get
thing
that
I've
out of my
ever heard.
head. I could not get
Yeah.
that out of my head the other day. Anyway.
Ooh,
Do you guys watch Rick and
It's
Morty?
funny, like I actually saw J Muse today on this show that I was watching. It's a new show on Shudder. It's called Todd in the Book of Pure Evil.
Okay,
And He made an appearance. He was a janitor named Jimmy, and it was like I was like, holy shit, is that him? And then he has this thing where this kid wants him to open this cabinet at school, and he's like, all right, what are you gonna give me for it? And he's like, I have a condom, or I have my lucky condom, and I have $1.35 or something. And he's like, how old is the condom? And he was like, a year or something. He's like, I'll take the cash.
Well, it's like, how can it be your lucky condom if it's never been used?
No, that's the joke, I think.
Yeah,
I've heard good things about that show, but I haven't seen it yet.
It was pretty funny. I just watched the first episode of it, but yeah, it was pretty good.
Did you guys watch Hollyweed?
No, I haven't
is
yet.
it out already?
Well, you can watch the first. That's the way it
That's so
works.
cute.
They're kind of pitching it. So they're on this network where it's like you have the power to green light it by ordering it, and they have like 5 price windows. You get to watch the pilot for free, and if you like it, you can buy 6 more episodes. And the way it works, so like we're in for the max because we're fans,
Right.
which comes out to like $30 for 6 episodes. But if a lot of people buy it and they make their certain goal, then when it actually gets green lit, because it's like 45 days, then there's like a closing price. You may get it for cheaper.
Yeah.
Is essentially the
Interesting.
high and low of it.
Yeah, so I think however many people buy into it,
Yeah.
the price goes down.
Yeah, so they're probably like just trying to find the audience for it and who's willing to like.
Yeah,
and that's the way this network is working.
It's definitely funny.
And they're sort of
This
the
is
first
interesting.
test case.
Yeah, and for Kev fans, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, and since Kevin was like, I just had a heart attack when I came, he's
Right.
like, I love this show, and I would love for people to see this show, and it's got the guy from fucking Dave Chappelle in it too.
It's funny. That's
Oh my
Ashy
God,
Larry.
he is funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it's him and Ashy Larry running a weed store.
Yeah, he's
So I mean,
I like the girl in it too, but I don't think she's in it.
yeah, she's a
anymore.
porn star, or like she was playing a porn star.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's.
I don't think she's in it ever, like again.
No, she was. It was a one-off,
Yeah.
a guest star.
Yeah.
But he's already written. He said he already wrote up 2 scripts just like on a whim. He couldn't even help
Kevin.
himself.
Oh my
So.
God.
It's so weird sometimes to think that there was a time when he didn't ever smoke.
Yeah, I
And
know.
even when like he was on the cover of High Times, he was still not a smoker.
Yeah,
like,
he pretended.
Yeah.
right.
Well,
And
people
that
just
crazy
assumed he
until he
did.
finally like gave in.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Do you think it like? 'Cause I
I
never
love
heard-
Seth.
Me
Yeah.
too. We were just talking about him today about what was the movie? Knocked Up.
Yes.
I think we talk about that movie. Like it's weird because we'll go into these weird like phases, and that movie.
It's weird to
comes
see
up.
who's in what movie,
why
and
that
we were
movie
talking.
comes up
I know exactly
frequently.
how. We were talking about the next Wonder Woman movie.
Yes.
Which has the girl who was
Oh my
in
God, I
Knocked
love
Up.
that
She's in the
fucking girl.
scene with also the guy from Star Wars, Rogue One,
I love her.
who played KTSO or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, she's the one who plays.
It was also Pirate.
Kathy Lee on Saturday Night Live.
Yes. And she's sort of like diminishing
Oh,
her at the
she's
same
so
time as she's trying to
funny.
compliment her.
The one who works at the TV station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like,
and she's like cutting her.
well,
down.
you know, you're kind of fat, but no, Titan. We can't really say that, but you know, she's
She's
like
like
the passive aggressive.
She's like talking under her breath. But
Yeah,
you can hear every
she's
word
like
she's
she has
saying.
some authority over you, but not really.
She's so hilarious, that woman. Why did we? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Because
This
of Wonder
movie
Woman, because
comes
she's
up.
in the next Wonder Woman
Yes,
movie.
and I love her. So anyway, that was our conversation today.
I love it.
Like anybody cares. We're just being random. But I love that movie. And Seth Rogen. That was why we started talking about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And he's
Green
the one who
Hornet.
got Kevin on weed.
Now, I always wondered, like, did Kevin always want to try it, or was it just like he had heard?
No, I
that
believe
Seth
he
Rogen
tried it
wanted
like
to
most
smoke with
people.
him.
You know, they smoked in their life.
Yeah.
He had smoked in his life, but it wasn't his thing.
I just love the story when he went to Seth Rogen because that's when he first smoked, and Seth's like, "Oh, it's about time."
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he really wasn't. He wasn't the stoner that you know. So we don't want to keep you guys up if you're too tired.
I'm tired.
You old folks.
I was gonna say I wasn't, but no, I am.
Yeah,
Well-
I know. Like, I've been on this regimen of waking up at 5:00 every morning. It's been I think this is week 4.
We're the
Yeah,
same
you're
way.
doing
We're the
real
same way.
good.
We've been getting up really early too.
We've been up like way early.
Like I was walking, and then it fucking just started raining, like monsoon season rain.
Wow.
Yeah, it's rained like every day for like 2 weeks, except for the weekend. It was nice.
and
but
then it's just been hot and really humid. And nobody wants to walk. In
yeah, it's
Oh
nuts.
no, definitely not.
It's so I gotta get back on the stick, but otherwise I'm doing 2.5 miles a day until the monsoon
Yay.
season came.
Yeah. And it feels good doing it in the mornings, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
when you wake up
It
early
really
enough to,
does.
oh my God.
Yeah, and they
I
say
like
it
it when
gets
it's
It
your.
feels so great.
They say it actually kicks up your metabolism so it burns longer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's hoping. I'm waiting for mine to kick in.
You're cute.
Well, maybe we'll all get lucky. We'll all just disappear, just like at the
I
end of
know.
Infinity Wars in a puff of smoke.
Oh my God. Well, if that's how I go, I'd want to go like that because it seemed very peaceful anyway.
Not fucking Spider-Man.
Not for Spider-Man.
No, not
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
I was so
But you know
scared.
why? Because
I heard that was improv too.
I was
Yeah.
reading. He's brilliant. I love him.
Yeah.
But I was listening to the extras, and they were talking about the reason why.
Because he's using all his superpower
Because he was using
to try
all
and
of his
remain.
superpowers to remain, and that's
Yeah.
why he stayed so
Yeah.
long. Oh
He
my
was shooting off his
God,
web
Tom
jizz to try and stay.
He's so cute, and then he's like, "I'm sorry." Oh, he was beautiful in that, wasn't he?
Our
That
daughter
was
likes
so
him a
sad.
lot.
Oh, he's just precious.
It was so funny walking out of that theater because Joseph was dressed as Spider-Man, and then other people who saw him and had already seen the movie, they're like, "You die!"
I know. Thank you,
everybody.
Yeah, but you made the movie too. Because I love that when he's
Mark
like,
Bernard was talking about that too,
Yeah.
like how so many people who had gone to see Black Panther now they saw
they're
they're
pissed.
it's like their second Marvel movie that
Then
they've
the guy
seen,
died.
and they kill the dude off. They're like, "What the fuck, Marvel?"
The moment I love.
Why didn't they string up James Gunn then, or whoever fucking? No, it wasn't James Gunn.
The moment I love is when Iron Man turns around. He goes, "You're an Avenger," right? And it says Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then he looks up, and then he gets really really puffy, and his shoulders go up, and he's like, "Yeah, I am an Avenger."
Watching that movie again, I
love that.
That is
Spider-Man.
all that movie is. It's just a collection of moments, and that's
Yeah.
the only reason it
Yeah,
works.
Tom Holland made so much of that.
Oh
movie
yeah,
for
I
me
mean
now
because
I
you have
think about it.
so many fucking people, like
Characters,
it's so many
Yeah.
characters all in one.
And
It's
Thor is
heavy.
amazing.
Yeah, but it's just so nice the way they do it. It's just like
Oh.
so many. Like I love
Guardians.
when Doctor Strange calls fucking Iron Man a douchebag. I just love it. It's like, what do? I fucking guard your reality, douchebag. Because they're the same fucking
They really
character.
are the same person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love how Star-Lord's like totally like saying what
So
a
fucking
pig
insecure.
Thor is. Like,
I know, and that's the thing with Star-Lord when he was acting all fucking stupid around Thanos. I was like, "What are you doing? Like, God damn it, just let them!" God, I was getting so pissed. But at the end when they're just saying like, "This is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, this is the only other
I
way."
love when Thor calls fucking Rocket Sweet Rabbit.
Oh my god.
yeah.
Sweet rabbit.
Yeah.
And then Star-Lord and Thor, like Star-Lord starts mimicking Thor and talking like him. With like a British accent.
Yes.
Yeah, like Joseph was like making me cry because of Groot calling.
Oh yeah. Because at the end, when Groot is just like when he's getting dusted away, he says Groot one more time, and what he's saying is "Dad" to Rocket.
Who?
Oh, that's right. And I didn't.
Who
pay
remains?
attention to that part.
Yeah.
Because
Which is
that's
weird.
his dad.
Because what was it again?
I love Groot.
Joe Greshko's theory is, of course, everyone who dusts is safe.
Oh.
If you've dusted, you're safe. It's only the ones who remain who are going to be ultimately dead.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
I don't know if
interesting.
I'm happy
And
about
those
that.
who are actually killed, like you won't see Loki back.
Okay.
You won't see.
Well, that means Captain America's dead then.
Captain America. Well,
Didn't-
ultimately, yes, will be dead. Yes.
What about
Iron
Gamora?
Man will ultimately be dead.
Who did you say, Joseph?
Gamora.
Gamora is trapped
was
in the
killed too, right?
but she's trapped in the Soul Stone. We even see that at the end
right,
because
right,
he's
right.
like,
Right.
she's like, was it worth it, or you know,
Yeah, the
or what
low
did it
version.
cost you, or whatever? He's like, everything.
Yeah.
That's a good movie, man.
Yeah.
It's good.
There are a
It's
lot of
very
extras, so like it's out now. So get all the extra stuff too. It's fun.
Yes.
I like
Oh,
it.
yeah.
All the deleted scenes are good.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Figures it's a downer. It's all the
Yeah.
downers that do really well with fans.
The Guardians in that movie are so much fun. Like I get a big smile on my face.
You know, there was they show extended footage, and there's another song that you could tell James Gunn picked that was going to be in that movie.
Oh yeah.
But
is that a spoiler though? If it's on the
that's not
extras?
that much of a spoiler.
Okay.
Would you like to know what it is?
Yeah, Dust in the Wind.
It's no. I'll give you I'll give you a
one.
hint.
That's a great one.
It's Kiss adjacent. Any Kiss fans in the crowd here?
No.
Okay. All right.
I don't blame
A
you.
bigger hit. It's one of the biggest.
Detroit Rock City?
It is the biggest hit of a member of Kiss without being in Kiss while making it. It's Ace Frehley, and the song is "Back in the New York Groove."
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Wow!
Never.
Wow!
I don't even know that song.
I don't either. I didn't either.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you recall, back in Kiss's height, they put out 4 solo albums. That's how much material I guess these guys had. Of them, only one album had a hit, and that was Ace Frehley's, and that was that song.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. Little rock and roll trivia.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, some trivia.
See, I only know like I'm like very little Kiss.
These are the kindest questions that you may get if you go to Edumacation's fucking bringing it all back, tying the room together.
Yeah.
I don't think
circle.
Yes.
I don't know if they would ask that though. Yeah. Maybe.
So where can we find you guys on the interwebs?
Just nerdsloth.com or Nerdsloth on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. Really anywhere. Nerdsloth.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming back on and doing this again. Last time it felt like we didn't break the ice until almost after we stopped recording. I'm like, this does not have the energy that I know it could have if we recorded again.
And it seemed like we didn't know each other. It's like we were like,
well, it wasn't. Yeah, there was like a weird, like we had to break the ice again or something.
Well, we were catching up. I mean, it literally had been so long.
Yeah. So, and I just felt like, wow, all the energy came on like as soon as we hit stop.
Yeah.
So let's capture that energy in a new interview. So that's what we did. And I'm glad. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us again.
We love having you.
A lot of fun.
And now we got to reacquaint you with the audience. So.
And we got to tell you about our bad date.
Yes. We got to
Well, here's hoping for a good one.
Hey, I still had fun. Actually, you know what? I wasn't a bad date.
Yeah, I mean, all things aside,
I still had a great time.
Just go stories.
As I said to my brother recently, this is going to sound weird. Okay, this is so inside, but I will close with this. Back when Jerry Garcia passed away,
yes,
there was Pete Fornatel, who was a regular DJ in this area. I don't know if you guys have any idea
Pete
who he
Fornatel.
is. Yeah, he has but he's synonymous with rock in the New York City area. And so that day, no matter what happened, everything came back to fucking Jerry Garcia died. And the sun is going down, folks. And just like how one time Jerry Garcia noticed that the sun went down and wrote this song. And so now, just like the sun is down, just like Jerry Garcia. It just seemed like everything ended with
and the raindrops come down just
like Jerry Garcia. Yeah, and that's departed from us now, just like Jerry Garcia.
Oh wow!
So for whatever reason, this got stuck in my head, and there's very few people who picked up on this, but one of the persons who did was my brother, because I guess he was listening to radio that day as well, and just you couldn't miss it. So it was sort of an inside joke, and one of those things whenever we drew comparisons to things, we'd always end up saying, just like Jerry Garcia.
Jerry Garcia.
So,
that is funny.
All right. Awesome. However, recently, I've been watching a lot of history, and I was just thinking about how I'm in a good space right now. I have a wonderful, loving, and great wife, and I have a caring and super boyfriend, just like Alexander the Great. So there you go. And that's the truth. So you can't get much better than that.
True. Just like Alexander the Great. Indeed.
There you go.
Maybe Jerry Garcia too.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll leave it there.
Have a lovely evening.
Yeah.
Bye.
You guys have a good night.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks. There you have Joseph and Shaddai. Nerd Sloth.
I missed them.
Yeah, it was fun talking to them. Like, we were much more on the beam this time, too, because all the ice was broken, as I pointed out at one point. Speaking of ice breaking and weirdness, so I went to the dentist earlier today, and I'm only now feeling back in my jaw, or half my jaw, so it's an interesting sensation.
3 hours ago, too.
Yeah, there's like an itching.
Yeah.
It's not the itching, but the swelling. So, anyway.
I think the swelling causes the itching, or vice versa.
Yeah. Well.
I don't like going to the dentist. I have to go and get my teeth cleaned soon. That I like afterwards, but I don't like the all poking and the prodding.
None of it's fun.
Picking.
Yeah, dentistry is
with that metal poker thing. I hate it. Don't touch me.
It's a very arcane, medical art or
it
whatever
really
you call it.
It should be more. They should be.
We should have lasers.
It should be way more.
Everybody's teeth
advanced.
should be done and replaced by the time they're 2.
Yeah.
So that they have like new laser teeth that
it should be
are
like
impervious to all
It should be. I mean, it really should. They put that blue thing over you so you don't drool on yourself. Like all of it is so.
Everyone should just swap out for implants.
It's just
like
basic.
right at the get go.
Get like.
And then everyone will have like bionic teeth.
Yeah, we need
like
more
Jaws.
updated dental. Yeah, dental offices, dental practice. Everything needs to be better.
Anyway.
Look at the kind of food we're supposed to eat. Who the fuck's teeth can manage that?
Yeah, well, I don't even know.
Not good.
Actually, if you go back to the Egyptians, it's bread and beer. So there you go.
All right.
We'd be screwed there.
I think a lot of people are doing that now because of the way our world is. They're just drinking.
All right. Well, let's not make it worse by doing. Let's drink ourselves into oblivion.
No, but people, they're just, they're.
I get it. But you know what? Our job is to lift things up.
I know.
To be a positive, entertaining
So we're
light.
here to say, instead of drinking yourself into a blackout, listen to us. Because what are you going to remember?
Gene going, drink yourself into a blackout.
Like
it's awful.
Idiot. It's all you're going to remember.
It's over.
Oh, my God. For some reason, I sound like Giuliani.
Yeah,
not making one lick of sense.
Yeah, it's all getting nuts in here.
It's getting crazy.
It's because the Russians are involved in everything now.
Oh, my God. And, like, yes is no one knows yes. Everything we see
It is totally Orwellian. It's so fucking nuts. But what are you going to do? Well, I mean, if this story pans out to be true that we're hearing that a little girl died in one of these camps.
I heard that.
That's going to be
now.
That's going to be a big thing.
Yeah, apparently from like a respiratory illness, which is usually.
It doesn't matter.
Oh no, it doesn't.
It doesn't
it's
matter.
Something. It was. She died because she was neglected.
Yeah, this is all going to be. This is all. Everything's. Things are going to start being turned upside down now. Once kids start dying.
See, but now we all know. We've all been around kids.
I said this when, like a month ago, 2
yeah.
months ago, when this, like the separation of the families was like a big thing. I was like, one of these kids is going to die, and it's going to fucking turn. Everything's going to turn.
I'm sorry, but not only one kid.
It's already turning anyway, but it's like Mika Borzinski like won't let this go. She's like a dog with a bone, and actually, God bless her.
Yeah, I'm glad she's not.
She keeps going after the fucking Trump women. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're letting your husband divide families and just like be like, we can't figure out how to put them back together. There was never a plan.
Well, it's like Cohen's on.
Why am I getting sucked into talking about
all
this?
Of this shit's going on. But meanwhile, all of these kids are still not reunited with their families. Like so much stuff is going on.
All right.
I am honestly telling you guys, with each of these things that is going on, there's a helper out there that's trying to figure it out. So just be sure.
We're killing the show here. That much I know.
Just be sure. People are out there fighting for us.
I know.
Do as much as you can because we can't.
I am very much for this, but at the same time, I feel like this should be kind of a safe space from because like the crazy is just getting too crazy, and I don't want it seep. That I'm just trying to keep crazy out of here.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would like to get this to be a crazy free space.
Right. And I think
occasionally I will sound off when I feel the need, but.
Well, with like James Gunn.
When it becomes so Orwellian, it's like, why am I even talking? I don't want to lend any credence to any of it.
Right.
Like the whole, I feel like you're just feeding into the narrative.
Right. We support our favorite director, James Gunn.
Yes.
Or one of them.
Yes, of course.
And we hope that things work out in that.
You know that from the interview you just heard.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It stacks everything up nicely.
So, yeah. Check out the on Instagram and on Twitter. There's a letter.
And because of all this, realize we just totally bummed ourselves out of the fact that this is show 199.
This is show 199.
Even though the numbers are like, it's show season 5 dash 117 or 116 or whatever the fuck it is. I think it's 117. And then so our next show will be show 200.
Tonight I'm gonna party like it's 199.
What's funny is also we have to be very careful nowadays because we are on Spotify. I don't know if we celebrated this at all, but the show is now available on Spotify fully, 100%. Well, we don't want Spotify's really anal about like the rights content and all that kind of shit. Yeah, so
we did our own version.
Exactly. I think that will be hard for them to. Be like, we'll get a no cease and assist from doing music.
Oh my god!
Meow meow Meow, meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, meow. Meow, meow.
Meow, meow,
Meow, meow. Meow, meow.
Yeah, we're copycats.
We should also do, for just for shits and giggles, since Kevin's been talking about it. What the fuck is it? What are their names? The guys?
Time?
Yes, Morris Day and the Time. God, I don't know a single Morris Day.
O-E-O-E-O.
Oh, my God. Ooh, I'm going to have to cut that out as a soundbite. O-E-O-E-O. Yeah! One amalgam.
So it doesn't always have to be a yeah. I say
no, but I like that, though. I think that'll be a great... O-E-O-E-O. Yeah!
The stormtroopers that we have up on our little thing over there.
Yes. Well, it's the evolution.
It's pretty cool.
Their Lego evolution. It starts with a clone and goes into the most modern stormtrooper.
Awesome. And then there's like a Iron Man right in the middle.
Well, he's down on the second floor.
So cute.
He's there used to be some Marvel guys there, but since we watched Infinity Wars, I got totally like gay and set up my nubbies.
Guys,
set up my whoobies.
Yeah. Check
set
out
up my little Lego guys and like little fighting entourage.
Scott was watching the movie and holding his
my little
Thanos.
wubby. My Thanos wubby.
His Thanos guy.
Only because I wanted to get the gems right.
We had to pause it when he showed his gauntlet to make sure that all the gems
wanted to get them all in the right order.
Well, I mean,
only missing one.
It's not
only missing one.
if it's not in the
Still.
right spot. But what are you trying to do with your gauntlet? Are you going to...
It'll be the mind gem, and then we're done. It's the complete set. Yeah. Then I'll put it on the head of my dick. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to super glue it to the head of my cock because it does have a hole in it, so I can piss and pee and do all those functions.
Oh my God, I wonder if people do that. Yeah. Get a bigger
I'll put
one.
it on like a harness. Like whack jobs, we put on chastity belts, and they're not whack jobs, but you know what I mean.
They're not?
Those people who are more out there than us in the S&M department.
Oh. So chastity belts are a part of...
Yeah, because it's like denial of sex. And
is it really?
Yeah.
I thought that was more like a punishment, like for...
Oh, it is. It's a punishment, but it's more like in the S&M thing. It's that kind of thing. Yeah.
It's a kink
It's a kink punishment. It's like you can't touch it. You can't do anything with it unless I unlock it for you.
Ooh.
And then usually the mistress or
master
will
the golden vagina.
Will unlock
the golden.
No,
vagina.
but they have them for boys too. Ooh. They're like it's basically like a metal case. You know, ever see like the man in the Iron Mask? It's like a Leonardo DiCaprio's face is your dick. You know. Oh. What? I can't jerk off. I can't touch it. Let me touch it, mistress. Sounds like that should be that's the name of the movie.
Not hot, that voice.
That's the name of the movie. Let me touch it.
It sounds like one of the Monty Python movies.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
that is not sexy.
Well, I don't find S&M very sexy myself
men
anyway.
Playing women's voices.
Yeah. There's usually a woman.
S&M. I like
It's like Woman's Revenge.
Yeah. Spanking is.
Oh, really? Is it you? Wait, you're going to pay me to shove this large, cumbersome object inside you? Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Sounds fun.
Like what?
Yeah, exactly. Where is this bad?
What do you put in there?
I don't know. Large, cumbersome object.
Like what?
I don't know. An eggplant?
Up your butt?
I don't know.
Ow, that motherfucker hurts.
Yeah. Artichoke?
Ooh.
With the spines and everything?
No. The spikes. What do you mean spines? Little pointy
Actually, I think,
things.
no, maybe his name is Artie. And then when you put his head up there, he chokes. Artie choke. Yeah.
Artie choked.
God, that's really...
Past tense.
Oh, my God. I'm so far away from the thing to even give myself...
Hopefully it's not a starfish to go in there. Those are pointy, too.
God, nothing's working for me today. There we go. There they are.
But we're not talking about anything weird.
They're really bad, though. No, my jokes are really bad. Next thing you know, I'll never get a directing job from this stuff when they unearth it.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking of, actually? Like, because Kevin was like, oh, they're going to make, they're going to find stuff on Twitter about me. And then I was, like, thinking about where is it? Oh, do I have it up here? I used to have it. I used to play it a lot, too. We may have to pause this shit. Ah! Where's Child Rider? There it is.
Oh my God, no.
Ouch.
That is so... Have anyone found that?
No, because if you hear it in context, they're not talking about dirty child riding. They're actually talking about literally riding on the backs of a child. Like is a horse.
I know, and that's not good.
But it's not sexual. They're not sexual. You're sexualizing it. That's part of the whole joke.
Because that's what I do, sexualize children.
Ew. No, you don't.
I'm being sarcastic.
And so am I. This whole thing is sarcastic. See, there are very... Oh, wait. Well, now I have to play that. Shoot. Well, we'll close on that little tidbit about when Monty Python talks about the...
By a combination of violence and sarcasm, the Warner Brothers by February 1966.
Wrong part of it. Damn it. I don't know where the other part is. Well, way to fucking just crash land the show at the end here. You know, it's like...
Grab him by the pussy.
You know, it can't get much worse than this. You know it's bad because...
That's Mr. Manafort, who's, by the way, respected man. He's a respected man.
Did he really say that?
Oh, yeah.
He's a respected man. When did he say that?
Day 2 of the trial as we record this.
Him in his ostrich coat.
Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Maybe that's what I said.
What was that that syndrome I said before?
I was a really good student at the best school. I'm not like a smart guy, okay?
Oh, my God.
And I think one of the reasons I'm standing here instead of other people is that I have deals in Russia.
There you go. So we'll leave you all with
Russia.
Pleasant thoughts.
But there's no collusion.
None, yeah.
Fake news.
No, now it's collusion. This is the best. Collusion isn't a crime.
It's
well,
not.
Yes, it is. Collusion is criminal conspiracy. It's just a different word for it.
Wait, but why do
Actually,
you say-
I believe even in the directive that they gave Mueller, it's like association with.
Right.
You know, like it's as vague as that to be criminal conspiracy. So anyway.
So it's like, oh my God.
Exactly, Bizarro World.
Very much Bizarro World people.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Well, we'll leave you with that positive note. Thank you for bringing the show down, Gene.
Keep your head up, guys. We're here for you.
Keep your head up your clouds and keep on reaching for your balls.
Keep your head up your clouds.
Keep your head in the clouds and keep reaching for your cock. I'm Scott Kasem.
For the stars. It's not always about cocks.
For your balls.
No, stars.
Them stars in your balls.
All right. Love you guys. You're smart and you're good.
Keep your head in the stars and keep reaching for your peanuts. Peanuts? Did he say peanuts? Did he say penis?
He said peanuts.
Peanuts jokes?
Peanuts.
That's how bad it is, folks.
Have a good one, guys. You're smart and you're good.
I can't even play the right thing to close us out of here. We'll see you, folks. We love ya. And remember, you're smart and good. You got to be smarter and gooder than us at this point.
Staring out in space, looking for an angel smiling, praying for some faith. Thoughts are drifting through my mind and filling it with fear. Is there something else out there, and just why are we here? Then I see the world will turn, and we must be its guide. Dreams and nonsense schemes, dawn comes, we must reply. Powers from our mother earth, they'll blow us to our knees. While our souls combined as one, come join us if you please, if you please. Reading moments one by one and smirking like a thief. Sleeping through another night and deepening our peace. Genesis and matter's wake is coming nonsense schemes, the Godhead in the skies. Powers from our Mother Earth, it's all we'll ever be. All our souls to bind as one, come join us if you please, if you please. As we worship at our shrine, bursting flowers into bloom, there's no such thing as time. Powers from our Mother Earth will blow us to our knees. Twisting, turning, minds are burning, join us if you please. And now I see that I am just beginning its demise. Flashing bits of comic light that vanish from the skies. Powers from our Mother Earth is all we'll ever be. All our souls to bind as one. Come join us if you please. If you please. If you please. If you please.
There he is. It's that man standing over Blood Alley Square, protecting us all. Go get him, that man.